Are you ready? Can Crush Us. It don't really get no better than this the podcast that you're looking for if you're really heavy into wrestling. Hosted by the Mark. Energy that's so amazing. Gotta keep it entertaining. Rep the Can Crusher Nation. Yeah, you know what's going down in the ring. Lights out when you hit a ding ding. Knock 'em out like boom bada bing. Hold it down, you can crown me the king. Got a shout out to the Miz and Duke the Dumpster. We choke slamming everybody. Power driving, hit 'em with a face buster. Yeah, this the show you need and it ain't no need for waiting. Mark, hold it down for the Can Crusher Nation. All about wrestling and keep it entertaining. Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Time to break 'em, let's go. Yeah. Can Crushers. Yeah. Can Crushers, let's go.
Hey everybody, this is Gilbert, WWF's longest reigning light heavyweight champion. And you're listening to Can Crushers Podcast, the best guys there are out there.
And welcome back to another Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Mark the Mark Martinez. That is Sir Michael Jenks, the co-host, the one, the only, the man, the myth, the... What else? You need to be something else. The... Can't crush it, coffee drinking son of a bitch.
Give me a week. I'll figure a tagline out.
Okay. Sure.
All right. I'm writing it down. Tagline in a week.
You also have a picture, your write-up, and other things.
Those are 8 months outstanding. My turnaround time on tasks is the same as you mailing packages. So I think we're quite even there. But I will get a bio and a picture up to you.
Your whole... you have now a hefty stash of stuff in the podcast room. I look at it every time I podcast, with or without you, by the way.
You just had to throw that in there, didn't you? Now, all I'm going to say is you keep holding on to that. It's going to be a lot more than whatever the express rate, flat rate boxes are going to be costing.
I'm just thinking it's just going to be enough to drive up the parts unknown.
I might have to.
Because that's my whole goal at some point. One, because one weighs 20 pounds. I don't know how the hell I'm going to shift that. Not 20, but it's heftier than pictures.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
This?
Oh, that, yeah.
I'm glad you guys all heard that.
Well, okay, first of all, that's why I was confused, because 20 pounds threw me for a fucking loop on that one. There's the first fucking of the game.
Explicit already.
Yeah, there it is. Like we were avoiding that, but... Oh, man. And you don't need excuses to come up.
I know.
But
I don't need it. You know what? I need an excuse to come up and buy. Let me ask you. Have you seen the Haunted Howling Death Howler hat?
I did. So it looks cool, but it also looks like Cubone the Pokemon a little bit.
It does.
Okay.
I'm not a huge Pokemon, but I instantly thought it looks Pokemon-ish.
Yeah, that's where my head was.
It's a word, but
it's a word now. It might as well be. But I completely agree with you because when I first saw it, I'm like, man, this looks like Cubone, and I can't get past it. Every time I look at it, it seems like a cool design, but I just can't get past it. It looks like a Pokemon at that point. But they are up to 35 states they've sold in.
I was going to say they're being sold all over the United States. That's unbelievable. I want to know the person in Alaska is going to buy one.
I agree.
GC or Golden Pipes or Chris McDonald or somebody better let us know who the person in Alaska is buying it. Because there's baseball fans everywhere.
There are.
But do the Wookiees in Alaska know about the Erie Seawolves?
So that goes back to like my obsession and your obsession with the Trash Pandas from Rocket City. We don't know them. We don't know anything. We know baseline about them. But we would buy that merchandise up because it's freaking cool merchandise. Now, I can't get past the Cubone thing, but I will look for maybe a fitted cap. I'm not into the fitted. I like the flex fits a lot more than the fitted ones, so I'd be looking for that.
Do you see how I wear all the New Era ones? The same way you wear your New Era ones, backwards.
That's how I would only wear them because I can't do it. I can't do the flat brims. I can't do anything with it. 47
brand, not that they're a sponsor, but they should be.
Yeah.
But the 47 brand is my favorite one. The slouch fit, it's not 7 3/8 or this. It's you have a fat head or you have a small head. Whatever.
Yep.
That's what I like.
That's exactly it. And I think mine's 39. It's not the 59, whatever, the fitted hats, but it's a 39 flex hat, small, medium, large. Pick them. That's your range. And my fat ass head goes large, but it works. And I like them like that, but
I do too. I mean, I had to buy. Listen. By the way, Mark is a couple in already, and we'll get to that. I needed a new pit hat.
Yeah.
So this was the quickest way to get one. Now that I'm a almost season ticket holder, I will pursue other things for a whole new wardrobe for next year. A better hat, a jersey probably, more stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to a game this year. This is a hat. Oh shit, it's going to be here tomorrow. Cool. That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
So this may be turned into another hat. Same thing with my Detroit Tigers, the one that I'm looking at right now, the Big League Chew hat. This is just a cool hat. Mm-hmm. It gets worn on certain occasions. It's not an everyday hat. Yep. I don't know why I showed you, because nobody else saw it. But
it's a really cool hat, guys. But to that point, I have certain hats that I wear just in the house because they're a little bit older, but not so beat up that I throw them out when I do yard work and sweat the shit out of them. But I wear them around the house when I'm working and I don't have any meetings. I can just throw it on and type or whatever. I have hats that I wear in-house, hats for yard work, and hats that I can go out and about with. And that's just how it works.
And then you have even nicer hats that, again, listen, I wear a hat. All right, let me ruin this. And I don't want to steal your thunder if you're going to say anything.
Oh.
When I got married, as soon as the church stuff was done, I wore a hat. So there was a special wedding hat purchased for that day. It was, so that's now considered like a nice hat. If we're going out to eat wherever, Applebee's on a date night, or, I'm fancy, like anything like that, I'll wear like that hat because it's meaningful that it's like, this is the one I got married in. We're going to be fancy a little bit, but I wear a hat. Our hat's fancy. To me, yes, I don't care. And then there's other ones that are like, all right, I'm just going to the bar with the guys. I'll wear that hat. Yep. Like you said, cutting grass hats. I have legit work garbage hats. Yeah. I have like 3 of them because they get ruined quick, fast, you're dirty, you're disgusting.
Yeah.
Have you ever, I didn't. We never know what we're going to talk about from the get-go. So the hats are apparently the thing. Have you ever done that soak where you put like Borax and all this stuff that takes all the nastiness out?
I've seen it, have not tried it yet. Have you?
Scared about it.
So am I, because I don't want to put a good hat in there and then it gets like destroyed.
Yeah.
So I feel like the yard hats would be a good test group. Yeah. Throw those in there. They're already shit anyways. And then if they get worse, then fine. If not, we'll upgrade. We'll see what happens. But
I do have enough hats to like transition, but when do I wear my Cincinnati Reds hat? When I go to a Cincinnati Reds game. When is that? Once every 5 years. I'm just saying, like that could be converted.
Yep.
But I digress.
Oh, I'm the same way. I think I have 20 ball caps and then I don't know, about 10, maybe 8 or 10 skull caps that or like winter caps that I just wear.
Yeah, knit hats.
Yeah,
people don't. Yeah,
knit hats. Yeah, there you go. I couldn't even think of the word, but knit hats, and that's kind of how I balance everything out with. I have a shitty Yankees hat if you want it. I have a winter Yankees hat I don't use. It just sits on my shelf, and I just despise it and flip it off every couple.
Are you giving that away to a listener?
I mean, if I don't know, I didn't know if you wanted it or whoever the hell wants it, but I mean.
I have an old, disgusting, worn out, and I love it because it's actually one of the ones that fit the best. When I hang out with like the Padlanos, they're Yankee fans.
Yeah.
So I dressed for I have every Major League Baseball hat except for the same ones that I don't have jerseys for. I don't have the Rockies. I don't have the Marlins. I don't have the D-backs. And what's the other late? No, I don't have Tampa.
Yeah, you don't have Tampa. Yeah.
I don't have those 4 jerseys. I don't have those 4 hats. When am I going to buy them? When I find a jersey I want to buy.
Right.
But until then, like I have all those hats. I have a couple Steeler hats. I clearly have a Pitt hat. I have random hats. If I have, I bet you I have 75 hats.
That's fair. I do have a bunch of my.
Not counting, I bet you I have 5 knit hats.
Oh yeah, and I bet I have. Well, I know I have at least 10 of my dad's old hats just hanging out. I have them in a bin somewhere. I'm like, okay, I got to keep these because there's some of they're dads. But like, yeah, to your point, I have a hell of a ton of hats. It's just you got to have a rotation. You can't. You got to have a rotation, and I match hats when I dress up. When I go to work, I put on a good hat. It is what it is. Like I know I can't wear the beer logos to work, but I have a couple of those. So you bide your time. You figure out a way to get it in there and sneak them in. So also Tampa Bay, I think there's a Wade Boggs Devil Rays jersey if you're interested in that on sale right now. So
that would be somebody I would buy.
Yeah. So if you want to go look and shop, it was on sale yesterday, I think. I don't know if it's still out there or not, but I didn't look into it too much. But
yeah, because that's actually the Devil Rays then, and that's where I would go. I wouldn't go. No disrespect, there's nobody on the team now that I want their jersey. I like all the older players.
I have not. Yeah, there's nobody on the team I would buy a jersey for. I mean, Franco maybe. I thought about a Rosarina for a hot minute, but like before that, it was even. I think Longoria was the first one that I might have bought a jersey for, but he left before I had a decent paying job that I could actually afford a jersey and put money toward. So, and then of course they don't make jerseys my size, or sometimes they're a little snug. So, got to kind of play the market and see where you land with it. But
yeah, I hear you.
Yeah,
and I always like mine. Like I look like a walking billboard with my jerseys. One, because they're usually so thick that like wearing it in a baseball stadium, there's always a T-shirt underneath because I'm gonna look cool walking in, and at least until the third inning.
You sweat your
if it's
ass off.
9,000 degrees, all right, here, Kelly, hold this jersey. Because now I'm hot, and she's freezing because it's 70 degrees outside, so she can then wear the jersey.
That's why I haven't pushed myself to buy an actual jersey yet, because I'm perfectly fine walking into a stadium with a T-shirt on, shorts, and not have to deal with the extra clothing, the extra layers. Just doesn't suit me.
Speaking of which, that's how I'm going to be walking into the Pitt Cuse game tomorrow. It's going to be 80 in Pittsburgh.
It's going to be balls hot everywhere. Were you expecting this? Probably not.
No. I was like, all right, what am I going to double up with my hoodie? Because, again, if it's 50 or 40 out, I know how to dress hoodie weather, and I'm okay.
Yep.
I was trying to figure out what am I going to do with her, because and I don't mean her meaning bad or anything. Good God. How am I going to keep Kelly warm in 40 degrees for 3 hours?
Yeah.
Look at the weather. How am I going to keep this fat guy cool at this point? Bailey's trying to help. But yeah, when I went to Pitt it was a home opener. I can't remember who it was against, but Pitt game. No, it was Pitt Penn State, or it was one of them. But went to a home opener for Pitt. It was 95 in that stadium. I had only a Batman T-shirt and just shorts, and I was in black T-shirt. I wore black, yeah, but I was sweating my ass off because I'm on all black. I'm dying in the sun. I'm basically bacon frying in a skillet at this point. So it's like you can't plan for that weather. In that stadium, that sun comes right in that stadium. It does.
So
when we went to the Rhode Island game, it wasn't supposed to be hot, and then all of a sudden, I'm stripping because I thought, oh, this is good fat man weather again. Shorts and a hoodie, you're good to go.
Yeah.
First quarter, the sun just decides, I'm going to stay over the stadium for the rest of the game. People are passing out. Yeah.
Was that a noon game? That was a noon game, right?
The Rhode Island one was definitely a noon game. Yeah.
Yeah. So you might be luckier with the 3:30 game because it might start getting past the stadium. Mine was a noon game. It was dead heat. Off topic, but 2 hours away from it. Cleveland, First Energy Stadium. Went there for a Browns-Bucks game 8 years ago, whatever it was. It was 25 degrees out. Beginning of November. We're freezing. We have layers on, coats and everything.
That's because it's right legit. If nobody's been legit it's on the water.
Well, I'm gonna give credit to the Browns for the way they built the stadium. You get in that stadium, it's a freaking heat pit with the sun because it has completely blocked the entire wind, obviously to make sure that no wind gets in there and just knocks the kicks around. But it's completely shielding you. So all you had was the sun, and it was at least 60 degrees in the sun sitting in there at a 1 o'clock game. And you go back outside and you're freezing your ass off again. So the way they constructed that stadium was amazing, but it's a tale of two cities, basically.
It is.
Just going in and out of that stadium.
It really is. Have you ever been to Buffalo Stadium?
No, I've thought about it, but God.
If you don't get to a September game in Buffalo, because that is not built to knock the wind. That's built to let the wind just flow through. I haven't been there in probably 15 years. If they changed it, I'm sorry, Buffalo fans. But when I was there, it was a November game against the Raiders. Oh, my God. The coldest game I've ever been to in my life. You know, you can set down beers everywhere and they freeze, this, that, and the other. Your beers were freezing in your hand. Like, it would just... Yeah.
Well, you wonder why they jump through flaming tables and drink a lot before they even get in the stadium. You got to keep warm somehow.
The alcohol level.
The alcohol level's got to keep you warm.
I agree.
But I mean, it couldn't have changed that much since they already released their renderings for their $1 billion stadium. I don't know if you saw that.
Apparently, they're winning the Powerball.
Apparently, they're going to walk away with the Powerball, which is at 1.5 billion, I think now. So. Oh,
Here's
my
hopes
God.
the Can Crushers are winning it.
Yeah, right. We'll have to see. I gotta go buy my ticket for tomorrow. So we'll see what happens.
We're playing a game, actually. This is another part of going to Pittsburgh tomorrow. She'll buy her ticket tonight at work here in our hometown. On the way down, we'll probably get gas somewhere, so she wants to buy a ticket there. When we get to Pittsburgh, because she thinks, God, at least I know she's not going to be listening to this tomorrow as we're traveling, so I can throw her under the bus for a little bit. She thinks if she buys them in different towns, she gets a better advantage because maybe Pittsburgh has better balls than Ridgeway does. Take that as you may. But
well, you always see when they hit, it's like those mom and pop shops that sell them. Usually.
That's what I'm saying.
So get it on the road.
Get-go in Tarentum.
Yeah. Get it on the road, get it in bumfuck nowhere, and just see what happens. That's all you can do. I mean, that's all you can do. I'm thinking about switching up my strategy here, but we'll see what happens. I'm not going to bounce around town, though.
There's no strategy. You just buy a ticket and...
Well, it's a fucking random drawing.
Shit,
so you hope...
The other one.
My thing is, if it's near $1 billion, you might as well just throw $3 at it and see what the hell. One in a goddamn trillion or whatever the odds are.
Be better than that. Throw 20 at it. If you
I've been throwing
20 bucks. Yeah. You can't spend $20. Maybe you shouldn't play. And we're not telling you to start gamble or anything like that, but God, I don't know. Don't buy a pack of cigarettes this week and buy Powerball, and maybe you'll be able to own Marlboro in a week. Just take that chance.
That's what I split it with my mom. We just go for it so she can retire at some point, and we're just like, all right, let's see what happens. $20, go. See what happens, and we'll go from there. But gamble responsibly, people.
Yeah. I gambled today, by the way. I gambled today.
You didn't have somebody try to run you down, did you?
No. All that is taken care of. That lady bought a can. She has not been seen since. So we're good. I gambled with my alcoholic beverage today for the show. I showed you when we started that I have Corona, and you're like, oh, piss water.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people don't like Corona. Well, my name's Martinez. It just rolls with it, especially if I have a lime. I didn't buy limes, by the way. TikTok got me. This is the first thing TikTok got me. I also went out and bought Disaronno. Is that how you say it? I think so. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right.
I bought that. So you take a chug of your Corona, and then you just pour some Disaronno in it and kind of swirl it around, and it tastes like fucking Dr. Pepper. I'm not a huge Dr. Pepper fan, but something like this, it adds a little. So I'm like, yeah. So I'm on my second one. I'm almost done with it. So in between breaks, yes, I have to go make another one. I'm kind of waiting this one to simmer out a little bit just so I don't drink it all. I'm like, I'm parched now. But they're really good.
Yeah.
They're really good. Plus, the Corona only has 28% alcohol in it, along with the 7% in a beer. So,
yeah,
Mark will be in bed early tonight.
It's only you had to get to bed early anyways. You're traveling tomorrow, so
He came to 3:30. I don't have to.
I'm trying to help you out here.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
My week did nothing. How was yours?
My week wasn't as exciting as yours, I don't think. Got the dogs together finally with the girlfriend, so they got along. They skipped the loo in the dog park, and they were having a blast. So we're moving along there with that. What's happened? Just chugging along at work. Just another long week at work. I was done by about 11 o'clock this morning. Just like this week can end. I'm good. Done.
You weren't done working, but you were done.
I wasn't done working, but I mentally checked out, and I can say that I was the only one from my team in the office today because I was the only one that decided to sign up for today to go in. I had to go in anyways for something going on, but I was like, God, this sucks. 11 a.m. Like, well, I'm all alone, and this really blows right now. So, yeah, it's been a week.
A little bit and kind of just like
that's
slowly get through things.
Even the music wasn't doing the jams weren't bumping it. Tried to switch to podcasts, those weren't bumping it. I'm like, God damn, I'm just dead in the water here. Like, I think I was just mentally just taxed and ready to call it a week. So
I get in those days driving the truck too. I'm like, I don't want to listen to podcasts. We both love podcasts. Like, I'll listen to podcasts more than music anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't want a podcast today. So I'll go to my favorites. And once I see that I'm skipping my favorites, nope, this isn't a playlist you want. So then you try to find something else that maybe you don't know. I'm like, man, I just started driving. I got 2 more hours to sit in this cab. Is there a gun anywhere?
But see, mine is like, even if I put same thing, put the favorites on, not working. You put it on shuffle, hope for the best, because I have 1,000 songs on there. Something's got to hit, right?
Right.
No, nothing fucking hits. So you're just like, God damn it. So you go to your podcast. Listen, you said it. We love podcasts, but sometimes they just don't hit. So I was trying to put on, like, I had a sci-fi one on today about people disappearing in a game. It's a pretty good podcast, but at the same time, it didn't work. Although I did remember at the end of the day, I do have to try out somebody else's new podcast, I think.
Who's that?
Oh, I think you have a new podcast, don't you?
I do. I am essentially the co-host. I'm the guy behind the podcast. Good plug, by the way.
You're welcome.
I'm the guy behind the podcast. Jason Tyler and myself are bringing Pardon the Paranormal. Jason has been a ghost hunter and majorly into that. I've always liked it and have been scared of it. So I think it's a great mesh. Like, he's trying to get me to like it. I've been interested in this, that, and the other. So he's meshing me in. We're going to do some things. Monday's edition. If you haven't listened to it, check it out. It's on Spotify right now, because Jenks knows there's a podcast as well. Other ones sometimes take a minute to catch on for Apple and Stitcher and all those ones. So it's on Spotify right now. Pardon the Paranormal. This Monday will be the C2D1 haunting that is taking place. I have not done my research yet, so I have no idea what the hell that is. But that's what Jason said. Upstate New York type of haunting and everything. But we are planning, and maybe there'll be pictures, or maybe if we're allowed, a little bit of a live stream of us being there, to go to the West Virginia Penitentiary.
Ooh. That's
what I'm interested in.
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah.
That would be really good.
If you're into the paranormal, check that out. It's called Pardon the Paranormal. Also, there will be guests on the show, some that have already been on Can Crushers, because paranormal and wrestling go hand in hand, it seems like.
They do.
We'll get some folklore, either be it American, Native American, all these type of folklores on there as well. So it's just not going to be ghostly and all that. It's going to be a mix of everything. And Jason has had his hand in. By the way, if you're like, wait, I know Jason. I've heard that name. Yeah, he's a sexy fireman that wrestles at IWC. So yes, big rig, sexy fireman, Jason Tyler, and I will be doing this moving forward. He's already got, dude set. I do this part and go, yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah. He's got a list of like 25, 30 already that he's, I'll say expert because he knows a hell of a lot more than I do at it. Throw in Shauna Reed that has been to The Conjuring, Judy Hendricks that has Native American folklore, more and more like that. We got at least a year's worth already set. So
are you guys diving into the cryptids yet, or are you going to, if you know what cryptids are?
Again, I am the newbie of this.
I get you're the newbie, but I was just throwing it out there because I think they play into some folklore around the country. I don't want to say specifically if it goes into Native American or whatnot, but like I'm talking your skinwalkers.
Yeah.
Like,
Judy's gonna be one of the main ones with the skinwalkers.
Okay. Yeah. So I wanted to ask that question because I thought that would be really interesting because that's my TikTok, Mark, is I get cryptids, I get dog videos, I get some recipes thrown in there. It's a really weird, eclectic mix of shit I get in my TikTok for some reason. Wrestling, football, whatever it is. But
mine's alcoholic drinks, clearly.
That comes into mind.
The dance crazes, football, dogs as well.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, just random stuff that I'm like, well, how did this get in here? And I'm talking like BDSM. But clearly they'll mix at some point. I'm like, I don't want to follow this.
I couldn't figure out how I got D&D into my TikTok thread. Figured it out. There's one video that I liked. I can't remember the creator's name right now because I'm talking off the top of my head. But he just made a funny video about being a bard. And I took it like, medieval times, bards, really, they just sing and all that. Liked it. Now you get to roll for sandwiches, but you also get D&D
roll for sandwiches
table where it's like a bunch of celebrities playing D&D and all that. So you get that all at once. Then you get a bunch of other shit, and I'm like, where did this D&D craze come into play? I point back to that guy. I'm like, you son of a bitch. You're good. You're funny, but son of a bitch, you're good. But I digress. There's a case up in Presque Isle that I don't know if it's going to be enough for you guys to cover. But it's about aliens and Bigfoot. I don't know if it's something that you guys. Yeah. So.
No, actually, that was on my one of the movies that I was on.
Was it? Oh yeah. Was it?
Yeah, on Bigfoot versus the World 3 or the Devil Mountain Devil Man. God, I should know this. I'm a movie star in it.
Yeah, I know, right?
He was on that. So, yeah, that guy is actually going to be linked to us as well. Legends, whatever. Sorry, Ryan. Legends of Hell Hunters or what. Yeah, the movies are legit 5 feet away from me. I just don't want to get up right now. But, yes, I know that one.
Yeah, it happened Presque Isle. And I have a T-shirt that says the whole story and everything around it. Brought this up. I covered it a little bit on the 40-year dash. So if you want to hear it, go ahead to 40-year dash. But it's Project Blue Book case 10798, and it's all about in the 60s. They could have been high as a kite, but you never know. They apparently saw aliens and they saw Bigfoot all in one swoop on one night at Presque Isle State Park. So didn't know if you guys were going to cover that, but
I hope so. That means we get to go to Presque Isle. Hopefully that's a like summer one, because there's some great ice cream stops up there. There's some great food stops up there that are only open during.
I was going to say there's one right there at the Presque Isle, right at the opening. So,
not that we've been there at all.
No.
We just
don't know anything about it. Know anything about it.
Nothing about it. All right, let's get into wrestling, for the love of God. Crown Jewel. We'll make our predictions, but we have to talk about Crown Jewel versus college football tomorrow, because we teased it last week. And then we'll probably just dive right into AEW and then come back around, because major hot topics, Jenks. I don't know if I have any major hot topics for the week.
You know, the only one that comes to my mind, that springs to my mind, is the whole threats that were levied against Saudi Arabia this week by, I think, Iran or Iraq, but that were going to, I would assume, jeopardize Crown Jewel. But apparently we're just like, balls to the wall. Let's see what happens.
When you make that decision to pull them out, I mean, let's face it, folks. You watched SmackDown last night, and we have not watched it yet, but I know what happened because SmackDown was recorded like 2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
When do you pull them out? If those threats came Tuesday, I believe, is when they were released.
Tuesday, yeah.
And we both are like, stop the plane. If it's out there,
then don't even go.
Turn around.
Yeah.
I looked to see if they could maybe pigeonhole it into another arena. I thought, hey, if they want to get this, maybe you call PPG and say, hey, we have this event coming. I don't know how fast you can sell tickets, but you'll at least get some money. Well, the Pens are playing. Then I didn't look at any other ones.
Right.
But because we're like, shit, maybe I can go to that and skip the football game. I'm just, how Mark thinks. But to get to the real story, yeah, I agree. If there is just a threat of some sort, I don't know, trips, I say you pull it. This is kind of the second one that has happened.
Yeah.
Of being threats of you going. Maybe nothing happened the first time. The very first time you guys had a hell of a trouble getting back. But I mean, like last year, you guys, there was threats, nothing happened. So are they taking it like we have big balls and screw it, we can do this because we're the WWE until something happens?
I don't know. So I would hope not. I could see it definitely happening, though. If I'm playing my analytical mind here, there has to be some sort of expense that gets lost if they don't deliver the show to Saudi. Like Saudi has built in, if you're not going to perform for us on this date, you lose or you owe us X amount of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And then we talk on top of that, you have all the logistics you have to cancel, so you probably lose all that money, which I'm sure is a pretty penny to get people there, booked into a hotel, whatever, for that time period. So you're losing millions of dollars on here that they're like, well, good luck, guys. I hope we make it. And they just decided to go. I feel like that has to play into this. Because if it was me, I would think Trips would be like, if they weren't losing money, we ain't going to go. Why would we jeopardize our people? But I think that would be for anybody. Why would we jeopardize ourselves if we're not going to lose anything on this venture? But if we're losing a shit ton of money, we better go just to show up.
Well, let me be complete devil's advocate, and good Lord, I hope nothing happens.
Yeah.
You go. You've gotten the cash now. It's directed from the prince of the random emails that you get into your bank account because you signed up for something. A threat happens. And I'm going the farthest that you could possibly go. We lose Roman. We lose Brock. And I'm saying death, people.
Yeah.
I'm really we lose, all the Bailey and the roster that's over there. We lose half of those or 3/4 of them or whatever because of something happening. Didn't you lose more than, because let's ballpark it and say $500 million. Didn't you lose more than $500 million then?
Yeah.
You lost your company. You lost everything. What if Trips is one? He's got to be going over there, right?
Oh, yeah. He'll be
what
there.
if he's one then? And is it worth that to take that 500? I know we're peons. Unless we win the Powerball, Jenks, we're never going to see this.
Yeah.
I'll never see that many zeros in my life. I don't care what anybody says. Do we just not understand the money? Do we not understand how business works? Or do we care more about human beings because our parents raised us the right way and we're not money-hungry bastards?
Well, I think we care about human beings, but I think at the same time, we're not sure how the business works. And we don't know how exactly this all plays out. Because when you were talking, play devil's advocate, I'm going to devil advocate you. if I'm looking at it, and this is going to sound heartless and callous, but if I'm looking at this from a business mindset, you have insurance on people. You also have written into their independent contractor contracts, and I'm using air quotes on that because that's how they get around things. You get injured at an event, it's on you to cover the cost of it, or however that works. That's technically an injury on their part. You know what I mean? So they could play the very callous business of, well, we collect insurance on everything we lost. Then you guys got injured on the event. Sorry, guys, but it's in your contract. You just got injured at the event. They could play that line. That's what's so sketchy about those contracts, is something as major and as devastating as this could just be written off as, oh, well, shucks. I'm sorry, guys. Hey, it's all good. Now the family's
Universal Tournament champion starting next week on Raw.
Exactly. And unfortunately, R-Truth's not going to win it because he tore his quad, but that's a different story. But it's that type of callousness that comes with the business aspect of it, of, well, that sucks. We're going to be sad about it, and we'll mourn their losses, but we have it written into the contracts, and we're fine. I mean, I don't want to liken it to it, but
no, but it's the truth.
It's the truth, and it's kind of like Owen's incident. That's how callous they acted around that incident. So even though it's a new regime, new people in charge, still a business. They're still going to protect their interests, and they're still going to be as callous about it as possible to protect their assets and that. So
you
personally,
definitely devil advocate, my advocate.
I did. Personally, I would give a shit, and I'd not send it. I'd say tank the company. Yeah. I'm not going to send people over there to die or get injured because of this. But that's probably why we're not in a position to be leaders and leadership in CEOs of major corporations.
And probably never will be because of that.
Probably never. You never know. Yeah.
There's people that I hate at my job, but I don't want them ever to die on a job.
Right. Exactly.
Or customers on my job, even.
Even if they try.
Intro.
Even if they try themselves.
Right. So I agree with that.
Yeah.
We do want to talk, and it's going to be briefly. One, because I need another beer, and two, we'll get to wrestling. Starts at noon tomorrow, or today as you're listening to this. I think it's going to take a hit on live, there's my air quotes, ratings. College football dominates Saturday. And if you're going to see a drop-off at all, you're going to see a major drop-off at 3:30 because Pitt and Syracuse play at 3. No, I'm kidding. You're going to see
exactly why you're going to see Mark in the stadium at Pitt. So you guys just turn off your TVs and you go straight to the Pitt game.
ACC Network. Yeah.
ACC Network. There you go.
Which everybody has, almost like access.
Yeah.
Tennessee and Georgia are playing tomorrow at 3:30. Listen, it's going to be rough. I would imagine that's going to be tail end Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley match into Roman Logan Paul match.
Yeah. Unless they're planning on a way to build this out so long that Roman, it's not going to work because he'd have to go till 7:30, 8 o'clock. So where do you go? Do you think they put the Universal title match on early?
No possible way.
I didn't think so.
Because they'll listen. I can't do listen every time. We know that me and you are watching it on Sunday or Monday or whenever next week. Neither one of us are watching it live. So take our 2 clicks off. It's a Saturday at noon.
Yeah.
There's a lot of family stuff. I don't think this gets a lot of live watches anyway when it's over in Saudi. Yeah. I really don't. You'll get the replays later on in the week. This is just essentially for them over in Saudi. And them sounded real mean right there. But it is for them over in Saudi at their 8 o'clock hour or whatever the hell time it is over there. They figure the folks in America will watch it when they watch it. Or they'll just get the highlights because that might be a lot of people are against still going to Saudi.
Yeah. Well, I mean, same as case in point. And
then how the hell are Usos getting to go there, by the way?
Yeah, I don't understand how they're there.
They couldn't go to Canada, but they can go to Saudi Arabia.
Maybe they're not allowed in Scotland or Wales or wherever the hell it was. Oh, and Canada too.
Yeah.
I maybe the prince paid somebody else off. I don't know. But
don't joke about that, because that's could honestly be real.
I'm not trying to joke about it, because I'm being honest. It could have happened. I mean, that's how you get WWE pay-per-views there twice a year, right? You throw money at them.
Still waiting for the Ultimate Warrior to be there.
So I just saw somewhere, I don't know if you saw this ever, and I can't remember the guy's name, but the greatest Royal Rumble ever, the 50-man one that was in Saudi way back when, that Titus flew under the ring on. The sumo wrestler they threw in there was only put in the Royal Rumble because they wanted Yokozuna. I just read this somewhere.
What?
Yeah. That is the only reason that sumo wrestler was in the Royal Rumble, was because they wanted Yokozuna to be in the greatest Royal Rumble match.
Oh my God.
So that when we talk about the Ultimate Warrior being there, that's how far out of touch they are. And that's nothing against them. It's just probably they like those people and they want to see those big names, but they don't know these people have died or passed on. They just can't come over, that type of thing. So I don't know.
Because we're getting the American feed and Are they trying to sell that off over there? Is he was supposed to be there maybe, and then this guy just showed up?
Yeah, I don't know. That's the whole thing. I don't know.
How often, and this is probably something we should have done maybe some homework on, but Can Crushers don't know what homework is.
Yeah.
How often do they get wrestling over? I don't mean live events, because it's once a year, clearly, from WWE. Do they watch it a lot? Do they know who Seth Rollins is? Do they know who Bayley is, since she hasn't been around in 18 months?
I feel like they have to know something, right? The Prince has to know who these people are for him to.
Do they get YouTube? I'm being dead honest on all this.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's some places that you don't get YouTube because it's against the laws and religions and stuff like that. Like, I would imagine that's how they're watching it if they're allowed.
I would agree with that.
I don't think Dish Network or
DirecTV. I don't know. Do they have the WWE Network, because that's still available internationally? You know, it's maybe they do have some sort of access to know the newer guys, but to that point, that's why you saw that influx of just older wrestlers in the early stages of these pay-per-views. And that's why they were so heavily dependent on The Undertaker and Goldberg and
Shawn and Trips
and Kane, because that's who they knew. So they wanted those guys there because that's who they knew. And they only know
that
Attitude Era. They don't only know that era, excuse me. Now they've gotten familiar. They can start bringing in newer talent, feeding in the shows a little bit more. It helps out. They can now balance it out and have better shows over there. But I think to your point at the beginning, they didn't know. They wouldn't have known Seth Rollins from fucking a hole in the wall. From me. Yeah. Exactly. So.
All right. Let's talk AEW, but let's take a break first. Mark needs the beer. We have to tell you about Collar and Elbow. By the way, check out the new Collar and Elbow shirts, Monday Night War shirts. There's a WCW one and there's a WWE one. They look amazing. Al, yes. If you're listening, Al, yes. One of those or both of those, size extra large and size 3X for Jenks.
Yeah.
We are good. That is what we want. Send that in the next package. Those would be awesome. Make sure you check them out, guys. CollarandElbowWrestling.com. Use our promo code Can Crushers, all one word, capital C and Can, capital C and Crushers. You'll save 10% off of those shirts. They have other great shirts too. The Dusty Rhodes one, the Al Snow Macho Man one, just more and more out there. There's still Shad Gaspar ones out there, Animal ones, all like the Memorial ones. But these Monday Night War ones are amazing. You're looking at them right now, aren't you?
I am. That Nitro one's pretty badass. And the Warzone one's good, but the Nitro one.
The Nitro one is...
That's legit.
Yeah, I like that. Check them out there. Again, Can Crushers is the promo code. Guys, you can listen to us everywhere. Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, anywhere that you listen to podcasts. I'm not even going long there. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Check us out. Don't forget, if you guys want to be part of the show, we're always welcoming phone calls in. If you have a question that's really bugging you, send it in now or save it for when we do another Ask Can Crushers, which with no pay-per-views from Survivor Series, the end of November until Royal Rumble, maybe we should squeeze one in because we're going to be I think it's going to be a little lackluster in December. Just throwing that out there.
Definitely is. I mean, we have the Crushies and that, but we need something. We need something else to carry the load or kick off the year, one of the two. So we'll have to look into that and see.
Yeah, there's no day one. The January 1st is still coming, but there's no day one. Or you can send them in via email, cancrusher69@gmail.com. All right, this has gone all over the place. Here comes Al to tell you about Collar and Elbow. Mark's going to get another Corona and Di Serrana. Jenks is probably topping off his coffee because he's got a busy night. We'll be back, and we're going to chat AE-dubs.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
Hey, this is former WWE superstar Duke the Dumpster Droese, and you are listening to the Can Crushers podcast.
Welcome back, Can Crushers listeners. Mark Martinez along Sir Michael Jenks. The Mark is me. He is the Sir, the one, the only.
I'm not Mark. I'm not Mark anymore.
No, you're not. No, you might be a Mark, but you're not the Mark.
I'm a Mark for you. How's that?
Aww. That's nice. Rampage we can go pretty quickly. For reals.
Yeah.
Menard got an Eliminator title match.
I was so goddamn confused by this.
When did this even come up? Why?
I think they just wanted to put Menard out there to get the shit kicked out of him. I feel like I don't know.
It essentially tweaked over into, I mean, it really was to get a story for Tyga Style for this Wednesday.
Yeah.
Listen. Rampage has been a little lackluster recently.
Do you remember when they used to jam 95 things in an hour? And then
I think that's what they're going to do last night. Because we didn't watch it yet.
I agree with that because they were on pace for that. They had last time I checked last night, there's at least 4 matches, 5 matches, something like that.
But all not burners, like bangers. We're not having bangers again this week. But all how are you going to get? I don't want to see Orange Cassidy and Shibata go 5 minutes.
It can't. If that goes 5 minutes, what the fuck's the point?
Watch this after when we watch this after we get done recording this and it's on.
It's gonna it's gonna piss us off. There's gonna be Mike Tyson's there for I don't even know why Mike Tyson's showing up.
But that's a 10-minute segment right there. It's gotta be.
Well, yeah, you're not gonna put him you're not gonna put him as their guest commentator and just pull him after 4 minutes, right?
Right.
I would think. I don't know. Who the hell knows anymore? I just pulled up the card. So this is what we got as of this morning. Mike Tyson, Ricky Starks will appear. Madison Rain and Sky Blue versus Britt Jamie, Shibata and Cassidy. Actually, that's all they have listed, but there's a lot of other things listed on their site.
I was going to say Jericho has
something. Jericho was doing something. I don't know. This was a random site, but yeah, I have to find another preview. Maybe AEW.com. But there was a lot of shit going on this week for some reason.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they were just making up for whatever happened last week, but
hopefully
not.
You brought up last week, and it's so funny that it was announced on Rampage as we were recording. Well, we actually recorded Thursday. Everybody knows that by now. But Tony Khan got an early edition of it that we hadn't heard anything about the Full Gear tournament. So instantly, Tony Khan puts it on the Friday Night Rampage. All right. Dante Martin and then Ethan Page.
Yeah.
Essentially were announced. I don't want to ruin everything, but maybe Ethan's the winner already. Maybe.
I honestly to me, this feels like they just threw 2 names out there. They're not going to go. Ethan Page might make it another round, but the way they booked Ethan Page is making me think he's not going to get past the first round. Like he's going to be thrown to a wolf of some sort when they do
Nobody ever big is announced until the last week.
Yeah.
And then we're like, well, there's the winner.
There's a winner. Yeah. What was it? Brian Danielson was announced like a week out, I think. I'm trying to go back. It was Kenny Omega the year before that. Omega was announced like barely right before the thing started. So I think you're absolutely right. Anybody that's announced between now and Full Gear's in a week. 2 weeks, is it? Is it
2
a week or 2 weeks? 2 weeks. Okay, we got 2 weeks.
By the way, November is packed. I don't know if you saw but this week is Crown Jewel. Next weekend is NWA Hard Times. I think I'm going to get it because I don't have anything going on. My son's in DC for DECA, and if you ask me what DECA means, something in school. So he's going to DC for that. Our Thanksgiving with my aunt has been canceled because other family members, it would just be my family and her family. So this has been moved to a different day now. So the 13th, there's something as well. The 19th is Full Gear because it's not on a Sunday. Thank fucking Jesus.
Yeah.
It's not on a Sunday. So I'll have Galbo down. The 26th is Survivor Series.
Yep.
Oh, the 13th is their Impact one, I believe.
Yeah, it was Impact. Yeah, because I saw the Impact one. Yeah.
The 26th is Survivor Series, which Mark won't watch until the 29th when he gets back from WrestleCade.
Bailey is very disappointed.
Coming.
Yeah. Bailey is very disappointed I'm not going.
I have told you.
I know you have told me. She's like, get this motherfucker out of this house right now.
You get here, I can get you there. And you are.
Sounds like such a fucking shady ass business deal. Anyways,
business deal. It is. all you would have to do is buy the ticket to get in. The hotel is already paid for. I'm going, so I don't want any gas money. You're going to need to eat, so that's on yourself as well.
Oh, I'm starving myself if I go.
Listen. That's a big one. It's always open. I'm telling you.
I get that. I know.
But you're a good guy. You're a good Christian son of a gun that, it's Thanksgiving weekend. I'll be able to spend more time with my girlfriend. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, well, no, that's out the window now. So we're not even going there. She's going to Ohio for her family thing. I just found that out this past week. She's going to Ohio for family Thanksgiving.
Shit, don't slam down a beer and diss around.
Yeah, don't do that. Which is hilarious. So she tells, I got a quick sidetrack. She tells me this last week. And I go, oh, that's great. Are we going to celebrate our 1-year anniversary on Monday then when it is our anniversary? And the color drained from her face like she absolutely forgot. We had talked about it before, but I think she just forgot in the heat of things, everything going on. She was going out of town because this is the first time they're seeing her aunt in like 7 years or something like that. I don't care if she's going out to visit her family. That's fine. Just the look on her face made me laugh. And she's like, well, we can see what we can do. I'm like, okay, perfect. That's fine. But I started laughing because I thought that was the most hilarious thing in the world. I also need to give a shout out to Cody Hetrick. So the 19th, I believe that's Saturday. So the 19th with Full Gear, there's a birthday party. Cody Hetrick, we're celebrating his son's birthday that day. It's from 3:45 to 6:30. Cody Hetrick understood the assignment to get us home by 7 so we could watch Full Gear that night.
He will be getting in late, though, because he always has TV issues.
Well, he has TV issues. We're going to a different location. It's at a jump park. I'm not doing I'm just showing up, being supportive, love the little guy, love Cody and Kaylin. But basically, I don't know what kind of strings he pulled, but he got it to stop at 6:30 so we could all get home and watch Full Gear that night. So props to Cody Hetrick.
Just because I'm going to tell you this because I tell my wife this all the time. Then we'll get back to wrestling.
Yeah.
Just because it stops at 6:30 doesn't mean you need to stay the whole time. If it starts at 3:30, be Mark. Get there at 3:25, help set up, do some stuff. Because then you got the good pat on the back that, oh, man, that's awesome. Mark was here early. Dip at 6 o'clock because you got traffic, you got shit that's going on. You probably didn't pre-order it yet like I already did.
That's fair. I still have time to do that. Don't get me wrong. But I will say this. I will stay the full time. Love the guys. I don't see them that often, so I'm going to stay.
I definitely don't see them.
Listen, I would sacrifice time to see my friends. So I'll stay the whole time.
Friends or AEW? Come on now.
This is a wrestling podcast. I understand I'm being judged heavily now, but that's fine.
All of Can Crusher
Nation. By all of Can Crusher Nation.
Keith Lee and Serpentico, nobody cared about. Really?
Why did they got to torture Billy Gunn like that?
That's the only thing I was going to get to.
Yeah.
But we find out, no spoiling, he's okay. Ty and Madison was a good match, but it was extremely slow. Like, I don't know if Ty, and I'm going to pinpoint Ty because Madison's a vet of many years. I don't know if we're back on building Ty back up, maybe a new move set or something like that. And I'm not saying it was bad at all. The crowd wasn't really into it at all. I just think there needs to be, Ty's vicious and dastardly. I don't think her matches should last that long right now. She could do this whole moveset thing maybe on Dark or Dark Elevation or something like that against people. I don't think that was the right place to put this match. I understand why, because you're saying, hey, Ty is going to be a competitor again real soon. Maybe she does some matches earlier there and come back, and this could be a big showcase match. This wasn't a showcase match, but it wasn't a bad wrestling match, I'm saying. Yeah. Like, I enjoyed it. Hold for hold, this and that. But this was the longest match of the night. And I don't know if it should have been the longest match of the night.
That's fair. And I think Ty is going back to retraining after everything that happened with Ruby. There was a long haul and a long break between her wrestling again after that match. So I think there's some retooling going on. She's trying to figure everything out. I guess I'm more surprised. I'm not, and maybe I shouldn't be surprised, but Madison Rayne I thought was going to be in there to be a little bit more heavily involved than I think she is currently. But again, she's being coached. She's doing a lot of things behind the scenes. So maybe I interpreted it as, oh, they're going to make a little bit of, yeah, I was like, oh, are they going to give her more to do? Like have a little bit of a rivalry besides the one she had with Jane. That was a hot second, literally. And then she became another victim. But it's come clear now that she's definitely just there to be the coach of the women's division. And maybe this was just a tune-up to see, A, how does Ty do in an actual TV showcase? B, can she go hold for hold with the teacher of sorts? But C, does she hit her moves effectively but not injure her opponents? I think that might have been what this showcase was, more or less, and just kind of play off of that aspect of we're trying to protect her opponents and we're trying to get her in the right place, right frame of mind to go forward with. I could see that very easily being the case.
Good point. Then we get to the main event. It's Wardlow against Taven. I hate this whole feud, and I'll probably really dig into it on Dynamite. I don't like this feud. I don't like Wardlow being associated with a tag team. I think it takes a lot away from them. Nonetheless, Wardlow and Taven, I believe, have met on the independent circuit before. You knew Wardlow's not losing this title yet. Yeah. I think there's an opponent now that he has a built-in feud, and I could get away from the Ward show and the embassy and everything like that. Taven would have been somebody I would have been like, yeah, Taven, because I like the Kingdom. I do. Yeah. I like the Maria and Mike and Matt. I think if and when there's time, I really think this is where Cole slides back into, and it makes sense. I do like the whole Kingdom being there, and they're going to be more heavily showcased on this ROH show. I know we always speculate that there's going to be an ROH show, but we have so much talent now.
Yeah.
That is not being showcased.
Yeah.
There needs to be now an ROH show. It's no more let's think about it or anything like that. There needs to be an ROH show. And Tony's bringing all these people in for a said reason. Is it just waiting till the beginning of the year for the paperwork to be officially dried or signed or however you want to put it for him to say, there it is? I know there's still some contracts out there that for ROH end, I believe, the end of this month, middle of next month. So maybe he's waiting for those to come off of the docket as well before he announces it. But yeah, you agree too that there needs to be an ROH show, right?
Completely agree. There's no reason not to have it, because you hit the nail on the head. There's so much talent that's been infused into AEW right now. There's a reason they're showcasing different champions against Chris Jericho week to week, month to month as the ROH champion. That's probably why they put him on there, so that they get these guys name recognition and get them built up as legitimate people in the AEW fans' eyes. It's the same thing with the Kingdom. This is just building up another group, another team to get pushing that ROH product forward. I honestly don't think Joe's having that ROH TV title. Pat, whenever they name the show, Joe's going to lose it at some point before that or right at the beginning of that show. So I think they're just building up everybody for that to determine, all right, who's going to be on ROH, who's going to be here. You know, it's going to be all across the board. There's a reason the embassy's hanging around. I could see them being the tag team champions. Sure as shit. Brian Cage is going to be walking around with a singles title at some point as well. So the ball is rolling in that way. It's when do we execute on it? And I feel like it's the beginning of the year when the contracts are expired and they can actually move forward with it.
Yeah. So Rampage, as we said, good, but it's been a little bit of a letdown. We'll see what you guys watched yesterday when we talk about it next week. I think it's going to be a banger. No.
A banger.
Dynamite, on the other hand, again, they could just put one show out a week and let it be Dynamite.
Maybe fine.
I lost my mind on Dynamite all week. I really did. If you want to call me just an AEW mark, cool. Call me just an AEW mark. I do love, and when we get to the WWE segment, I did like stuff this week too, but I mark out on AEW stuff. Darby and Lethal, I was like, why the hell is this happening? I understand. I'm like, what is going on? And I'm watching this as I'm recording with Justin Plummer, the IWC preview, which was showcased on Wednesday night, because that's when they're going to be released Wednesday nights, because that's the only time we can record. But nonetheless, as I'm speaking to Justin Plummer about Cole Carter and his match at IWC this Saturday against Derek Dillinger, Cole Carter shows up under a Sting mask and fucks up Darby's life.
Yeah.
Essentially to get to the next thing. Are you kidding me? Jeff Jarrett is now taking over AEW.
What in the early 2000s WCW is fucking going on here? So they had a logical.
Andy said slap nuts, by the way.
Yeah, he did say slap. I popped for slap nuts when he said it. I couldn't believe. So the fake Sting, I'm like, okay, well that's okay, fine. We'll play that game. Fake Sting, whatever. That makes sense. But then fucking Jeff Jarrett comes out with a guitar and starts swinging on Darby. I'm like, how the fuck does this tie in? Are we getting a Jarrett Sting interaction? And I'm going to call it at Full Gear, because is there something building up? They're going to have to come back and circle back to this at some point. And I feel like Full Gear, the man's going to come back. You don't pull out a fake Sting, pull out Cole Carter as fake Sting. You don't pull out Jarrett unless Sting's coming back to get retribution against these guys in some form or fashion. Yeah, retribution's coming too. Although I heard T-Bar threw away his mask, so
he burned it.
He did burn it.
Yes, and yes on all of those. This is leading up to months down the line. Finally, we're going to get the Darby Sting match, and I'm not fast forwarding because in the mix of this, we're going to get that face-to-face with Jarrett and Sting.
Yeah.
Possibly a tag match between Darby, Sting, Jarrett, and
probably
I don't know
at that point.
Lethal, Cole Carter, whomever. Just name somebody. And that's where, and I think you're right now, Darby turns on Sting instead of me saying Sting turns on Darby.
I think there's just going to be, it's always going to be in the back of his head now. Sting, even though it wasn't Sting, even though it was clearly not Sting, you can see the video that it's not Sting. Darby's going to start thinking about it. It's going to be playing on him.
How many more of those are we going to get, though, by the way?
Fake Stings? Oh, God.
Do we get the real fake Sting at some point?
We get real fake Sting at some point. I think they played this.
NWO fake Sting.
Yeah. I would, yeah. Just rips off the mask and it's still Sting. Yeah. Beautifully done. Yes. I feel like we only get maybe two more, because I feel like we get one each week until Full Gear. And then Darby, actually, you know what? I'm going to go back. Darby's going to attack a fake Sting, but it's going to be Sting at this point. Think about this. We start rolling out fake Stings to come after Darby. He's going to catch on at some point, right?
You would think.
If he catches on, he's going to attack one of them before they come after him. Is it the real Sting or is it a fake Sting? You know what? I could see it being a real Sting, or the real Sting, not a real Sting, because there's only one Sting. It could be the real Sting, and then it's like we have this whole trust issue thing going on for about a couple months, 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is, and then we finally just snap. So I just feel like they have to do some sort of twist on this fake Sting thing. That's not just fake Sting and then Sting comes out as a real, you know what I mean? Sting upon Sting upon Sting and Sting in here. It's like a conspiracy board going on behind me in my head. So it has to play out somehow, and I think that would be a unique twist on it. So take it, Tony Khan, and give me my check in the mail. Take that unique twist on it and run with that, because I think that plays a little bit into a psyche, a little more mental warfare type deal.
When do we get a fake Sting ascending from the rafters? Or is that the Sting that is the real Sting? God, there's way too many. Or is that the Sting that Darby attacks? Because that's when he transcends down and Darby's like, you guys have been trying to do this for a couple weeks. I'm just going to get this guy with a baseball bat.
I think at that point, there's 5 Stings coming into the ring at once, and then the real one descends down and he's just swinging at that point, trying to take everybody down. This episode might just be the Stingers of Doom or something like that. I don't know how we're going to name that, but Stingception or something like that. But that's it. I could definitely see that the real Sting comes down from the rafters, but Darby's swinging on everybody in the ring and he hits the real Sting. So I don't know what that play is, but it's got to end with the real Sting interrupting the fake Stings who are attacking Darby, who's younger generation Sting in a Stinger world type thing. So,
do we ever get Venice Beach Sting back?
I would love for that to be one of the fake Stings. Just Venice Beach, blonde hair, crew cut.
Yes.
Fucking just come out. I would love that. But we probably won't.
Yeah, I don't either. I would love it. Mox against Lee Moriarty. As we said, it kind of transitioned into this. Ethan Page on commentary. If you didn't know, you don't watch wrestling, that there was going to be an attack at some point.
Yeah.
This match was okay. I'm a huge fan of Lee Moriarty from, the Pittsburgh days and everything he's done in IWC and Rise and so on and so forth. I just didn't. I knew where this match was going, so I couldn't put any value into sitting down and studying or watching this match.
Yeah, you can't invest in it. You can't invest because you know the ending of it. And I was the same way. I mean, I was watching it. I'm like, okay, well, Ethan Page is coming down at some point. Is it before the match, after the match, and in between the match? It was after the match, and then he just one shot Moxley, and then that was it. I'm like, well, that was uneventful. I was expecting more people to come in, things of that nature. But it did its purpose. It showcased Moriarty, got Mox another win, but I was indifferent to it, to be honest.
Then we get to sit down. It's supposed to be Saraya, Britt, and Renee. As minuscule as this segment was, I thought it was epic. Because then it rolls into Britt's as well, and we'll get there. Yeah. We'll just pigeon-toe both of them together. Britt doesn't want to sit down with these two. She doesn't fucking care about these two.
Yeah.
But there was one thing that Saraya said. She needs to talk to another doctor beforehand.
It's got to be.
Well, she's talking to Britt last night.
Yep. That whole thing was to set up, I'm coming for you. Let's do it. And I loved how that ended on that. I have to consult one more doctor. So how do we get there? How do we get to that consultation? Is it Saraya just comes out and attacks her? Is it we corner her in a ring? You know what I mean? It's one of those things where she just has to let Britt know. And I've been thinking about this for a lot. How do we get to that point? Where is Saraya's next move? Is it attacking Britt? Is it cornering Britt? What's the trap?
I think it's costing them. Whoever you said, Sky Blue and whoever Britt and Hayter faced last night, I think Britt and Hayter take the loss because Saraya interferes.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And that just sets Britt off, which, again, a couple segments down the line, Britt and Hayter are there. They are with Tony and says, this is the person that only interviews me. Too many conspiracies, so I only stick with Tony. They just want a match.
Yeah.
So that all engulfs all of that. I really think they lose or they lost as you're listening to this. And that's how Britt's pissed off and she's like, I want to fight you.
Yeah.
And Saraya says, good, because I'm cleared.
And then it's all rolling for full gear. I like it.
Easy peasy. Regal, talking about MJF's potential. I don't know. I don't know if I want to hear it every week. Like I was all happy for this show because the next thing we're going to talk about, I lost my fucking mind. But I'm like, maybe just let it simmer sometimes.
I think it's a way. They're only doing it to get. For some reason, they feel like they have to get MJF's name on the broadcast every week. I don't know if you need that. To your point, Regal doesn't even talk up MJF. Yeah, I wasn't there. Let him sit for 2 weeks because I feel like we're not getting MJF till the week of full year because he's going to come out, attack. It plays into my sympathy for the Devil sentiment. Comes out, attacks the Firm, and then we get Moxley and him staring each other down. But yeah, I'm in the same boat. I don't know why Regal's got to talk him up every week. There's no need for it. Let's just move on. Let's not worry about that. Let's not worry about MJF. It is what it is.
Yeah, because he's already over.
Yeah.
But we are moving on to Daddy Ass's birthday party. Have you ordered your foam fingers yet?
I thought about it Wednesday night.
I did too. And I'm like, well, I'm going places this weekend. I don't need to spend $20 on a foam finger yet. But I have one.
Fantastic. There was comments about the reunion.
I was trying to figure out how we were going to swerve that in there. Yeah. And then the people there got to see Billy do a suck it with his two fingers, which was awesome.
Yeah.
The Ass Boys come out. I mean, the interaction there was okay. Morrissey attacks. I really like the FTR thing, but I don't think FTR is the one to take the title from Acclaim. They're getting the title soon. I believe that. But I think FTR beat somebody else, because not that taking a loss to FTR from, the Acclaimed taking that loss from the FTR would hurt them. They're the two number one teams right now.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, and we'll get to predictions next week, that Swerve and Your Glory are going to win them. I think there's going to be a 1 week transition champion in there now. I don't think we're going to get that FTR Acclaim match.
I honestly think it's going to be a fatal 4-way at Full Gear. I just see these 4 teams being involved in the match, and Acclaimed. The possibilities there then for Acclaim to lose without being pinned, and it sets up things going down the line. But
all right, we're not naming a winner yet.
We're not naming a winner yet, but what I'm saying,
we'll name a loser.
Yeah.
One of the Ass Boys is taking the loss.
They have to be. They're not going to win the tag titles. There's no way the Ass Boys are winning the tag titles. If the Ass Boys win the tag titles, I'm not going to say that because it's going to happen then.
You're going to shave your head.
I was going to say, maybe I shave my beard at that point, but nobody needs to see that. But I feel like the Ass Boys are only involved in this discussion right now because somebody needs to take the loss, or it's
and we haven't had a fatal 4-way in a while.
We have it, or it's the end of Swerve and Our Glory, and something happens with them.
Yeah, that's the writing on the wall is there too.
Yeah.
By the way, the Rick Ross segment was the worst thing I've seen in a while.
Really?
Rick Ross was trying to get himself over so much.
He was, but I found it funny. I didn't think it was the best thing ever, but it was all right. And I found it funny.
Yeah. No. Good for you. So we've covered that. This is the next thing that we'll talk about. And this is probably a pretty hot topic. Jericho challenges any ROH champion.
Can I ask a question real quick before you do?
Yeah.
Did you think, leading into that, we thought it was any ROH world champion, did we not?
Yes. We were naming people last week.
We were. And now it was any champion. So that that threw me for a loop. I'm like, wait a minute. When they started naming, it could have been a tag champion, could have been a TV champion. I'm like,
an old pure champion.
Yeah. Where the fuck was this communication? Because it was led to believe it was going to be a world champion.
Right.
But I digress. I feel like they switched it for obvious reasons, but go for it.
Well, your obvious reason is my obvious question. Do you think, because everybody says this was slanderous versus Punk? You're not answering yet. This gets one of those. Listen, Colt Cabana has been in AEW since forever. All right, I don't care what happened between Punk and this and that. If this is the storyline they're going, it made sense without us knowing that it was any champion, but it makes sense. People were just so pissed and pissy that this was Colt Cabana because they're either huge CM Punk fans or they despise Colt Cabana. There was no middle road on this, on anything I saw this week. It was like, this was all just a spit at CM Punk. This was all to pat Colt Cabana on the back for doing everything that he's done since CM Punk got here and ran his ass out. I didn't care either way. It shocked me that it was Colt Cabana, and then it made sense. I don't know. Are your thoughts that it was just to throw spite at CM Punk?
Did I laugh at the whole situation because it couldn't be construed that? Absolutely. When Colt Cabana came out, I laughed because I'm like, oh, this is going to be taken such in a bad way. And I even said to Cody Hetrick in a text message, I'm like, when you watch it, you're going to see the big reveals and all that. And then I was like, there could be some misconstrued things here. But I saw the hate. I saw everything flowing online. I was slapping the face. This is BS. I laughed because I knew that was coming. I thought it was a good pick.
At some point, it was going to.
It was gonna happen. And you know what? Colt Cabana is a legitimate wrestler and a legitimate contender for the title. So I didn't hate this. I had nothing wrong with that. It's just people's negative mindsets and always thinking the absolute worst of things, where they're like, oh, they're going to spit in Punk's face. They're slapping him across the face. I mean, they're showcasing the Elite in all their video packages now. Yada, yada, yada. It's just because people are conspiracy theorists and take the deep dive and just go off the deep end every single time.
Every single time.
Every time without fail. No matter what it is. So that's exactly what this was. It wasn't, nobody cared about Colt Cabana's accolades or that he's been in the business for 20 plus years or anything of that nature. This was just a slap at Punk's. This is how people took it. I was excited to see Colt Cabana back. I like Colt Cabana. I was pissed when his arms got swiped away when he was about to win, but that things happen. And then I was even more pissed that he lost on the goddamn code breaker. That never happens.
If you really wanted to be a complete douchebag in this whole thing, Jericho should have won with the go to sleep.
I agree. Or like an Anaconda Vice or something.
Completely been a pinpoint at Punk.
Yeah. Or have Colt Cabana throw a go to sleep or something of that nature.
Yeah,
that would have been
a match. If you're going to be that much of a dick and stir the pot, throw one in there.
Yeah, that would be the major middle finger. That's not what they were trying to do here. They had Colt Cabana, he was a former champion. It made sense to face Jericho at that time, so they went with it.
He's been in AEW since the start, so I didn't see anything bad. A decent match. Then they beat up Ian, and are we getting Claudio and Jericho at Full Gear?
It seems that way, doesn't it? It just seems like that's going to be the rematch. They're going to have the rematch at Full Gear, which I don't think Jericho loses.
I don't want him to lose yet.
I don't either. I don't think he has I don't think Claudio is the right person to take it back off of him. I don't know who would be. We don't know who is unless Daniel Garcia is turning on him. And I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Unless, this is a whole... Again, this goes back to what is Daniel Garcia playing his own game here?
Right.
If he is, we see it at Full Gear come to fruition. And then Winter is Coming is the follow-up match to that.
But does Garcia have 2 titles? Or does he lose one?
I think
because he doesn't have a match at Full Gear yet either.
I think he loses one in between there because Jericho's going to have to get back at him at somehow, some way. Even if it's the pure style of match, Jericho's going to find a way to get back at him.
Right.
This whole thing is built upon. But I guess at Full Gear, this necessitates, unless he's attacking him after the match, this would necessitate Jericho losing.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't think it's the time yet. The story is being told, and it's a great story that should last longer.
I agree.
Than this blip that it is right now.
They have a ton more
I think
candidates.
Garcia needs to lose first.
Yeah.
Because of Jericho doing something. Maybe it's Yuta again that wins that pure title back or whatever, and Jericho is out there just because the whole JAS is out there, and Jericho hits him with, what the hell they call the bat? Whatever.
Yeah.
Floyd. And then he ends up losing like that or something. And that's where Garcia gets the pissiness. And maybe Jericho loses the match, but not the title.
Yeah.
I don't, because we both think, besides Adam Cole, who I am strongly thinking I would think Adam Cole and ROH go hand in hand. That's who I think Jericho would lose to if it's not Garcia. We've ran the gamut anymore. I don't have anybody else besides those two.
I don't either. There's nobody else that's in prime position for that to take it. Because whoever takes that title is the brand superstar, is the main event attraction. And to be honest, I don't know if Garcia's there yet. So I think it does come down to Adam Cole, baby, if and when he's ready. And are they just holding off until they're ready to announce the deal?
And again, we said it's the middle of next month. There's a 2-week period. And I didn't do the research. Somebody else did it for us that I read. There's a 2-week period, end of November through middle of December. A bunch drops off. So that's when your deal could happen. Essentially, as we said earlier, the beginning of the year then. I mean, that's a month away, essentially.
Yeah. And don't be surprised if, well, let's talk about that. New Year's Slam is not in the new year.
Right.
It's December 28th, I believe. Oh, perfect thing to announce. Oh, guess what, guys? Next year, we're bringing back ROH. There's going to be a whole new brand. So they have the perfect opportunity to do it. And before the new year, they could say, well, we got a TV deal, and it starts in 2 weeks or something like that. They have the opportunity there. It's built in. They timed it right. It could happen, and Adam Cole could come back at that point.
But let me keep stirring this. We have to get through Full Gear. They can't pull that trigger. He has to screw over Claudio then, or something. There's got to be more meat on the story. I'm really not stirring the pot. I'm just saying, more has to happen.
Well, I agree with that. I think, thinking back on this now, I think you're right. Nothing happens at Full Gear. The story is going to progress along. Jericho's going to keep getting wins and wins and wins. I don't think Daniel Garcia loses the pure title. I think Jericho gets desperate for an ROH title because he loses his title. So this may not come to fruition until the new year. Let's say he drops it to Adam Cole. We'll speculate on that. Jericho's now desperate. He doesn't have the ROH World title. He's trying to make a mockery of this. You go after somehow he screws over Daniel Garcia. Maybe they just attack Daniel Garcia because Jericho wants the pure title. He wants to make a statement in ROH that he is destroying it. What is their most technically sound title? It's the pure championship. So why wouldn't he attack Daniel Garcia or demand he gives it to him and then have the backup plan where they turn on him at that point? I don't know.
Agreed. All Atlantic Trios match. I knew Orange wasn't going to lose this. From the segment that they had beforehand, the Death Triangle's breaking up.
Yep.
Right? Death Triangle's breaking up. We're okay with that. When it's going to happen? Soon, I would imagine. Let's see who wins the Trios champions from them, but it's going to happen. I didn't expect Jack to be back. I didn't expect Lucha to be involved into the finish. I thought maybe Orange and Phoenix would double team him for a while, them just themselves throw him through a table or something. I didn't expect Jack to be back to take Lucha out of this.
Yeah.
Good. Now we're getting that match at Full Gear. Full Gear match. Good to go. I loved the Orange Crush punch as Phoenix, however, anybody, because you notice Tony says Phoenix, but Taz says Phoenix.
Yeah,
I think it's Phoenix, right?
I thought it was.
Ray Phoenix.
Yeah, it's,
But he says it every week that he's on. I like that. I like the match itself was good, but it was also very predictable. Like, but when what happened afterwards? What do you think about first the match, and then and then we'll trickle into what happened afterwards? Because you guys have already seen that match and we haven't.
Yeah. Well, here's the Jack Perry thing. I wasn't surprised by it because I guess we talked about this a little bit. It makes sense that they're gonna have a follow-up match at Full Gear, but I didn't think, honestly, I don't know, because I didn't know if they were gonna extend it out far to kind of drag it along so that Christian Cage could heal up and then that would be his next match or what. But I wasn't surprised he showed up. The match itself was good, but I'm in the same boat. You know OC's winning, and you know these challengers are just burning through people until he can fight he's going to drop it to somebody, Ethan Page or Miro or whoever. In a one-on-one match. I think the first one-on-one match he has, he drops the title, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because you're just burning through triple threat matches. There's got to be something. There's got to be give and take here. But I should actually reverse that, because his first one-on-one match is with Shibata. So that would not, I don't think that's going to happen per se, but I also don't think it's a 5-minute affair. This is going to be almost, I don't want to say, it's going to be the longest match of the night on Rampage.
It better be. I hope
it better be. You guys definitely will know, and you can laugh at me when I say that. You hear this tomorrow and be like, haha, it was only 5 minutes. But
well, I think there's another match coming out of it.
Okay, that's fair. So let's go off of that. What match do you think is coming out of it?
Shibata Pac.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's coming out of it, as maybe Orange really isn't going to get to. I think Shibata looks great in this match.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Pac getting pissed off, and that hammer comes down. Nobody per se loses the match.
Yeah.
Pac's intervened himself to screw somebody over. And then we get, I would think Shibata's here for Full Gear. Full Gear. These are starting to catch up, by the way.
Sounds like it.
I think he's here for Full Gear.
Yeah.
What else is built in? You can't just, all right, Shibata Mox. Well, no, he's got MJF. Shibata Omega. He hasn't been around.
Yeah.
So
here's where I play off this. We know we're in agreement. Death Triangle breaking up. You don't show the elite packages unless they're coming back. I'm pretty sure the elite's going to be the ones that take those titles off of Death Triangle. The question is when. Is it Full Gear? Do we bring them all back?
They come back Full Gear, but they don't take the titles then.
Then are they taking them back on a Dynamite?
Maybe Winter is coming.
I don't feel like it goes that long. I feel like as soon as they bring back...
Isn't Winter is coming a week after?
Mid-December.
Oh.
It's a month out. It's at least a month out.
Maybe, then.
I'm thinking
I don't think they have a lot of stock in no disrespect to AEW. I don't think they have a lot of stock in these trios championships. They just have them for another championship to have.
Well, let's be honest. They don't. Yeah, you're right. It's another championship to have, but I don't think they had the stock in them because they haven't been able to do anything with them. But to be honest, this was essentially the Elite's titles that they wanted to have and run with. So.
And then the scrum happened.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm thinking week of Thanksgiving, they're going to be like, oh, Thanksgiving Slam or Thanksgiving Turkey Day Smash or whatever the hell, like mashed potato bash up on the head. They're going to win the titles. I think it's right after Full Gear. I don't think this goes any farther than the Dynamite after Full Gear.
Okay. So. Yeah, I could see it too. Yeah. And it might be only 2 people defending the titles because Pac not be here. And that's another. I mean, I think because Pac's been here for a month now, again.
Yep.
I'm sure he's going home pretty soon.
Yep.
He always does.
He does.
We already discussed Swerve and Rick Ross. Marina Shafir and Jade. Man, this was rough. And it was rough because I couldn't stand Nyla and Vicky talking the whole match.
Well, that was the point.
I know. I don't know. Jade wins this and gets her title back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Nyla's not going to be the one to take it out. They're just making her. There's a storyline around this match, at least, compared to her just defending the title.
I agree. So that's a good thing. I think that's a plus.
It is a plus.
But
I'm just not a Vicky Guerrero fan. I like Nyla. I do.
Excuse me. I can't even do it because I can't get my voice that high anymore. But
what I am excited about, the House of Black. Julia was burning, drowning everyone. This wasn't recorded pre-Malachi leaving.
Yeah. This was after.
So Malachi's back.
He is.
Brody's was there.
Yeah.
Did we see a Buddy, though?
We didn't see a Buddy.
That's what I mean. So Buddy might be the one letting his contract, whatever, going back with Triple H.
Yep.
I'm all right with it. I like Buddy. I do. This is the House of Black that I want. I want them, and this is who I'm going to. I love the Acclaim. I love FTR. I want them by the end of 2023 because it's not built in the line right now. They need built back up. They do. It's just destroyers. I want them to be Demolition, Legion of Doom, the Dudleys, whatever. People just come in, 2-minute matches, they fucking destroy. Business is over. See you later. By the end of 2023, at least, champs?
Could be. I don't want to commit because I don't know. Because are we?
I don't either, and I'm not holding a gun to your head.
I get that, but from my perspective is, are they after titles or are they after mind games? What are they after is going to be my thought process here. Because to me, they don't need titles.
They don't.
Would I love to see them with titles?
It's Mark
Absolutely.
wanting them with titles.
I know exactly. I love the passion. I just don't know where it's going to be at.
Passion too.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, I just don't know. Give them the titles. If they get them by the end of 2023, great. I just don't. I don't know why I can't picture them with the titles, and that's not a knock on them. It's just I think they can survive and be devastating without them.
There needs to be, and I think this is the start of it. There needs to be a complete, hard, fast novel, not just a story, a novel built around these guys now. Like they need to come in and decimate, essentially, the way Bray Wyatt's being built up right now. And we're getting into WWE rather quickly.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
ROH TV champion, Joe versus Brian Cage. I mean, Joe gets a win. Again, if you didn't see this from the last couple of weeks, the Embassy attacks. Listen, and it was a weak one. There's 79 members of the Embassy beating the piss out of Joe. And I love me some Wardlow. If there's 79 against 2, why
are you back?
The story's not there yet. And I just don't think they're full-fledged on this War Joe thing, or like it's just they're trying to get to that next level of Joe's there for the ROH thing. Wardlow's still dominant and everybody's scared of him. Man, just break them up. This just isn't, nothing in this is doing it for me.
Nobody's winning outside of War Joe. And I'll throw FTR in there because FTR won one of this. It can't be a rivalry if it's one-sided and you keep backing down every time they're at full capacity. Wednesday, they weren't even at full capacity. Joe was down, and Wardlow came out, and he got afraid of Wardlow and ran. The Embassy. Yeah, I don't think the Embassy's have strength in numbers. I don't think the Embassy's a threat right now. I have no belief in that in the Embassy whatsoever right now. And that's disappointing because I think they have a lot of potential with the members they have, and you're just backing off of one person.
About an hour ago, you said the Embassy is probably going to be ROH champions.
I did. But we have to start building them up like that. You can't keep feeding them to Wardlow, the TV champions, and expect them to be a legitimate threat. The Embassy can become tag team champions.
Agreed.
They can become any kind of champion they want, but you have to build them up to do it. And if you don't, the fuck is the point of them being there?
What are we getting at Full Gear with this? This is leading to something. Are we getting Wardlow against? Is it going to be 4-on-2?
No, I feel like it's just Hobbs and Wardlow.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm also thinking Hobbs is joining the Embassy at some capacity.
Okay, that at least makes sense. So now it's 5-on-2.
Yeah.
What is Joe doing? Is Joe not defending that title after this has been a month? This started when I was in Buffalo, essentially.
Yeah.
Joe has to be on Full Gear. The Embassy, even if it's the pre-show or whatever, like this has to be something on Full Gear to end it. Right? And that's a huge ass question mark. Because there's no ending that can be good with this. And I don't mean to mean.
No, I honestly, I think they've booked themselves into a corner where there's nothing they can do with this besides drop it at this point.
And does Hobbs take the TNT title from Wardlow? Then I'm going to say that title run was worthless for Wardlow.
Yeah. I think the only way Hobbs takes this title is if he joins the Embassy and they screw him over. Yeah. And then it's a fluke victory. It protects Wardlow, yes. But then Hobbs looks like shit in the long run. We can't be doing this.
Bad story. This whole thing, as you said, happened there.
I don't know.
Is kind of involved as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's gonna happen now? What's FTR doing?
Yeah. We have them booked in a triple threat match.
No, you know what? It's going to be a 4-on-4 match at that point. Then what the fuck's the point?
Completely out of the title picture then again.
Well, I feel like they would be because they haven't been all this year. So why wouldn't they pull the rug out from underneath them one more time?
Bad booking.
Very bad booking.
All right, let's take a break and we'll head to WWE. By the way, you guys watched SmackDown last night. We at least have the spoilers because it's been taped 2.5 weeks ago or whatever, somewhere. Not a lot happened.
No.
Oh, that's another one right there for Jerry Swirls. Ladies and gentlemen, your Golden Girls favorite, the Golden God of professional wrestling, the grandma loving middle-aged messiah, Jerry Swirls, is here and is going to want to tell you to tune in to Can Crushers podcast every single night. You don't want to miss it. There's vulgar, there's some violence, there may be some sexual. I'm just kidding. I won't put that in there. It's all right. Tune in, check it out, etc., etc., etc. And if you don't tune in, I've only got 3 words for you. Suck my ass.
Hey, welcome back to all my favorite Usies out there for Can Crusher Nation. Are we ready to talk SmackDown and WWE?
In SmackDown?
And SmackDown and Raw?
Yeah. You're feeling Usi after the intermission.
That little bit of Usiness, take a break, get the blood flowing.
So let me tell you. I forgot that SmackDown was on FS1. Because the World Series is on. By the way, I don't know what happened. So there's no game tonight.
Yeah, right.
So it could end in Game 6, as we both predicted.
It could. Wouldn't that be a fucking thing?
I don't know. Justin Verlander is 2-0. but I did say he was going to be the MVP. I don't know. We had no fucking hitter in the World Series. And this rookie, this Pena, is ripping it up.
Yeah.
But who knows? We might be going into Game 7. I don't know, but I think all roads lead to Houston.
Yeah.
I didn't know their bullpen, and we're getting to WWE, gave up 2 hits the whole World Series.
I didn't realize that either. I thought, because they were lighting them up for a while, for a couple games, Philly was lighting them up, and I thought, oh, the bullpen had to give up something, but 2 hits.
It was the starters that they left in way too long. One being Verlander.
Yeah.
As much as, by the way, yesterday was Kate Upton and Justin Verlander's 5-year anniversary. So happy anniversary to you guys.
Happy anniversary to them. I feel like there's another anniversary at some point that we haven't even mentioned yet. It's a happy 5 years, isn't it? I feel like for a certain Can Crusher.
I told you Justin Verlander got married on the same day as I did.
I know. I was building it up, building up the suspense. Happy anniversary there.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Very much. I knew we'd get there.
We'd get there.
Have to twist the arm, something. Yeah. So essentially, last week's SmackDown, Mark did not watch full Batum, all of it, or whatever. These are really kicking my ass now. So I only have
full Batum. That's a new word.
Yeah. I only have a Corona for next time. I didn't realize that 3 of these were going to put me on my fucking ass. And I'm almost there. They're delicious, though. Thank God I have to go nowhere but bed. And that might be a rough trip. So let's talk about SmackDown last week. In general, Usi was the best thing on it.
Usi was the best thing on it. We got to introduce Uncle Howdy, and I think that kind of wraps up SmackDown last week, to be honest.
Are you thinking Uncle Howdy is Bo now?
I think Uncle Howdy is Bo. I think that makes sense. It just rings Bo. You could go down the conspiracy theory path with the earring and all that BS. This is definitely Bo. I think it's Bo. I guess how do they work it in? It's something's got to happen at Full Gear. At Crown Jewel tomorrow or today, as you guys are listening. Does Uncle Howdy attack? What's the game plan here?
Why is he there?
Yeah.
Why is he at? And we'll get to the predictions. So essentially, we're just telling you that we're going to cover WWE quick because you have a lot of time on predictions. He's going over there for a reason.
Yep.
I don't know. So it's not my prediction. So let's go to Raw.
All right.
What injustice, and I'm not a huge fan, even when she was crazy, what injustice did they do to Nikki? She comes out the week before, causes havoc between Bayley and da-da-da-da-da. And, all right, it might not have been clean, but she just takes a normal loss to Bianca Belair.
Yeah.
Done.
What was the point?
Title wasn't on the line. This is maybe where Bianca gets disqualified, Nikki gets the win, something like that. She takes a roll-up loss, which, have it be surprise or whatever, did nothing. Later on in the show, you see her talking to Damage Control.
Right.
Does that wean on your predictions for Crown Jewel? No.
No, I don't think it does. I mean, I think it only books out Survivor Series at this point. But could that be something that plays into Crown Jewel? What happened to Crown Jewel? Maybe. It would get us to Survivor Series.
It would. It would.
We'll have to find out in predictions if we think it would.
Still, Bianca needs a fourth member.
Well, she has it.
Do you still think it's Candice?
I still think it's Candice.
Okay. I don't know now. I I believe
Well,
it.
I gotta go Candice. I think Bianca gets another person with War Games experience, and it's Candice. That's just where my head goes. Does that mean Candice is flipping
Damage Control has 5 members in?
in the match? Yeah, but only 4 that we know about.
Well, right.
Well, let's put it this way. Technically, they may only have 4. Nikki's just an accessory to get them to help out. Or they're trying to keep Nikki in the back pocket. She's never going to join, that type of thing. But to your point, yeah, I think they have 4 or 5 in the match at War Games.
I hope. I hope. And I just think we needed a different feel on this Raw women's roster. I don't know if it's getting stale or whatever, but there has not been talk of a draft. We brought up a draft for about 6 months now. There has not been a talk of a draft. I don't think they do it because their big players aren't there.
They're not going to do it until after WrestleMania at this point.
Yeah.
It's going to be after WrestleMania. It's the reset button, probably second week of April. Everybody's up for grabs at that point.
That at least makes sense compared to a week before Survivor
Series, and then put them all on the same team, and it's brand supremacy type thing.
Brock and Lesnar, I am very much intrigued now.
Brock and Lesnar?
Brock and Bobby, I mean. Brock and Bobby, I'm very much intrigued now to see how this carries on. This isn't one match. And I'm thinking it's not one match. But I don't think they meet again until Rumble.
I would say Mania at this point, and here's why. It's a grudge match. So they met at Rumble last year. Lashley won. And then you meet again this year. I think this is Lesnar's to take a crown jewel. I think WrestleMania, you get your rubber match, your blow-off third match. Big, meaty men slapping meat. I was going to throw it in there anyways. But I think it happens at Rumble. Or not at Rumble, at Mania.
So I don't think we see Brock after this until Rumble.
I think yes. Yeah. Because I think Bobby enters the Rumble and that doesn't work. Unless Brock and Bobby are both in the Rumble and they eliminate each other somehow.
Bobby's hurt, and there's my air quotes for the week, coming out of this match. He's not at Survivor Series either. To get this to Mania, there has to be a lull, an injury of some sort.
Yes and no. Because I feel like, Brock can leave and come back whenever he damn well pleases. So I think they can let this simmer. I think you let Lashley go on a warpath for the next couple months. It's not similar to Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker with that whole storyline where it was Shawn's career, but it's similar in the path of Bobby gets desperate to get back to Lesnar. Because now we have to settle this once and for all. And it's a back and forth brawl. He's on a warpath. He loses this match, whether it's I don't think it's by crook. I don't think
Is it by hook?
It's not by hook. Maybe Lesnar just surprises him and beats him within 5 minutes or something like that. It's a quick match. If that happens, I think you see Lashley on a warpath. He's maybe villainous again, kind of deranged, just tearing through people. And then Lesnar comes into the Rumble, eliminates him, and we're kicking off for WrestleMania at that point. That's kind of where my head goes with what this rivalry is becoming right now.
I'll give you the Rumble that Lesnar eliminates Lashley, but then Bob slides back in and tosses Brock out because Brock, he can't win the Rumble either.
Exactly.
And if he's in the Rumble, he's somebody that everybody's man, he's going to win. Writing's on the wall anymore. I mean, everybody's talking that it's Roman Rock at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
If it's not Holy Swerve in our glory, but it has to be at this point.
Oh, it definitely has to be.
Or anything, but still, it's there. But having those two in the Rumble, there has to be shenanigans for both of them to be eliminated.
Agreed.
Shenanigans have to happen between themselves. Not throwing Drew into the mix, not throwing anybody else into it. It's got to be just themselves, eye to eye, that does something.
It's all, I think was it Kurt and HBK when HBK eliminated Kurt and then Kurt came back in, threw HBK out. I think I remember, if I'm remembering that correctly. I think it's that, I think to your point, it's that exact kind of scenario.
Yeah. How is that legal? If we want to sit down, and we don't have to break it down today because we're going to go long, but how is that legal, an eliminated person?
We always go long, first of all. Second of all, it shouldn't be legal, but it's no disqualification in the Rumble. So as long as you go over the top rope and your feet touch,
you're done.
You're out. It's like you're self-eliminating, like Drew Carey flipping over the top rope after throwing money at Kane. But I think it's that exact scenario. As long as you go over, you're over and you're out.
Seth Rollins is a face again, huh? The blonde hair is back.
All it took was blonde hair. All it took was the blonde hair.
He's so over, though. Last week he was on commentary. I don't know if we were even mentioned this. Last week he's on commentary, and they're going, they're singing a song and everything. Yeah.
Rollins is over. I mean, it makes sense.
It does make sense.
The crowd's behind him. Like, what you intended to do for Riddle in that rivalry, it just put Seth Rollins in that position, basically. Everybody loves Rollins now. He's over the top. He's completely different. I'm fine with it.
Fine with it.
Go with it.
Theory is even more badder. He needs to keep rocking this scruff or whatever because he looks like a badass now. I'm saying there's going to be a pseudo cash-in as well. He's not going to get it. And he'll keep the briefcase. There's going to be all that at Crown Jewel again.
Yep.
We'll get there.
Is it Jake Paul knocking him out this time?
There.
Okay.
Get there. Roman and Paul's thing. Man, this wasn't good for the Go Home show. I didn't really care. And The Miz, I love The Miz.
Yeah.
He's on my arm. It didn't make any sense.
It didn't. I think people can shoot me for this, but the best promo cut that night was when Roman was walking up the aisle talking trash straight to the camera.
Yeah.
That's what sold the pay-per-view. It wasn't the shit in the ring with, we're talking about pins and needles in Logan Paul's hand or whatever the hell is going on there. Good for him. He has screws or whatever the hell he has in his hand.
Ronnie Garvin didn't need that.
Yeah, right. I mean, God, Bob Orton had a cast. So what, guys?
Iron Mike Sharp had a leather.
Exactly. So, but I think it did more afterwards with Roman. And maybe Roman knew that. Maybe Roman knew that shit did not get over. I'm just going to jaw jack all the way up the ramp and just call it a day at that point. Because that's what sold it to me.
Do you feel that you would have put your stock? You have $1.5 billion to put on somebody 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Would you have put it on Roman talking?
No.
I wouldn't have either. Now I think he's one of the best that WWE has.
Oh, yeah, I completely agree. I don't know what he did in those 4 years. I honestly, actually, let's go back to this. Is it just acting classes that he took? Because he did something in the year of the pandemic, the 2020 through mid 2021 when he came back at SummerSlam. He was doing something. It was obviously acting. It was obviously he got his teeth in. Something happened, and maybe that's all it took was those acting classes that finally helped him unlock what he could do and give him the confidence to just spew and just talk. But whatever he did worked, and I love every minute of it. It's captivating television now.
It really is. That Bloodline theme hits. I could be burning the house down.
You're focused.
Burn it down. I'm focused on that.
Yep.
Because I didn't know if we were getting all of them, if we were just getting Roman and Paul, or not Logan Paul, Paul Heyman. I didn't know what we were getting, and I have to see. I do think that we should have gotten a little more Sammy on Monday. I know he's not going to pay-per-view, but he was too hot. From the Uzi thing that made the whole bloodline just
crack.
Saturday Night Live crack event. They're all done. They're like, oh shit, you saw them all. And Solo Sikoa, who doesn't have facial expressions, snickered. Sammy, listen, it's been released that, Kevin Owens is off the show essentially because Sammy is so damn good.
Yeah.
Yes. So you're right. KO and Sammy are going to join forces, but it's sad that KO's off the show. You can't find anything else for KO to do in this.
Seriously, there's nothing. You brought Elias back. You have Riddle dressing like Elias. We have
the Chippendale.
The Chippendale thing. But we can't find Kevin Owens a spot on the show. I don't get that.
No.
I don't get that whatsoever.
Judgment Day, Priest against Anderson. Listen. Rhea Ripley, I'm losing stock in her as being she's a wrestler. I haven't seen her in a match in forever. I don't know if it's because she's injured or anything like that. I don't know. She just does nut shots now. She did a body slam, 2 weeks ago? But this is what Rhea, and everybody's like, but she is so intricate in the Judgment Day, in Dom. I understand they're trying to tell that story. Do something besides a nut shot then.
I want to see her do something on Raw. Like a couple weeks ago, she did the NXT match where she basically squashed and wrestled, which is great. That's fine. Finally, she was doing in-ring action. That's exactly it. What is she doing?
Part of the Judgment Day.
It was not. It was on her own, doing her own thing. They were there. At least a couple of them were there. But you're right. Is she just nut shot Ripley now, or is she just body slam Ripley? Like, I get the feats of strength, and I get they're booking her like a menace. But it feels like she has to be also not only the menace for the team, but she has to be a menace in the women's division and just start ripping people apart. Or maybe this is the big war. Are they sitting on Rhea for a title shot at Rumble or at Mania?
You better start building it. And I know WWE storylines aren't as long as AEW's.
Yeah.
It's not. But come on.
I feel like they're waiting until after the damage control thing passes before they start.
Which is going pretty fast, not to be a dick.
Right. But 2 weeks, 3 weeks, Survivor Series. Shit's done at that point. I think that's when you see the transition for Rhea. And I could be completely wrong, but I think it would entail, and this is not my prediction, but it would entail Bianca carrying the title past this week and Survivor Series for a Rhea match to come up at the Rumble at the earliest, which I don't think is going to happen. So I don't know.
Bianca's not defending, or I'm stating this, nobody else has said this. There's no women's title match at Survivor Series.
Oh, no, there isn't. No. The only reason I threw that out there is they could throw one on Raw or SmackDown at some point or whatever, but yeah.
Man, the best thing about the JBL thing was R-Truth. Corbin. No.
No Corbin.
Hank's shaking his head no, too.
I can't. I mean, there's nothing. I don't know how it's. You're right.
I also hate when a holiday falls on a Raw because they have to have
some sort of
Christmas Chaos, a New Year's Revolution, a St. Patrick's Punch, a 4th of July banger, a Memorial Day memorial. So we had a trick or treat fight. How can we build Riddle back up after shit like this again?
I don't
Now,
have
don't
an
get me
answer.
wrong. I fucking chuckled when Patrick Swayze came out,
Yeah.
and I thought, oh my god, funny, yes. I can't get into Riddle anymore. I've never been a Riddle fan in the first place, but at least you had me a little bit. And it took me a while with the Acclaimed. It took me a while with Street Profits, which where the hell have they been? It took me a while with like everybody. I was getting there with Riddle, maybe. And now he's back to this.
I thought we made progress.
Because of Randy. I really do.
It is because of Randy, because I thought we were on the way of Riddle was going to be a more serious, more hard-nosed, taking things a little more serious for it. But with news Randy could be out past even WrestleMania, just done in general, they're probably like, well, Riddle's only good for a mean streak when Randy was coming back. Now he's not, so he's got to be silly, and he's got to dress up like Ezekiel for his match. And I'm like, great job, guys. I laughed at the Chippendale thing, but I wanted a more serious Riddle. I think more serious Matt Riddle is a lot better than 420 bro Matt Riddle.
Why can't Riddle just completely morph into Randy Orton right now and let it run for, if it's 6 months before Randy can come back? And if he can't, you can turn Riddle into something else then. But at least there's a story of Riddle just completely being Randy, and Randy's at home getting pissed off watching him and Riddle thinks he's coming back and he's going to hug him, and Randy just kicks him in the nuts, RKO, and then punts him. There's your story for your match.
Yep. Well, that was what was originally supposed to happen anyways. Well, not Randy leaving, but he was going to turn on him after a short time and be a heel. Yeah.
But let Riddle be not the Viper, but what's another snake? The Mamba.
The Mamba. Oh, the Mamba would be perfect for Riddle's character. It makes sense. I agree. I think the other thing I think of is Riddle should be. He's taking after Orton. What did Orton do great over his career? He morphed into different versions of himself, and he adapted and he evolved to what he needed to be going forward. Riddle could be doing this right now. Riddle could be in the middle of his serious phase. Then we can come back, and I'm not saying he's going to shave his head like Randy and look like a Viper at that point, but like there's evolutions that he can do to continue and keep things fresh and up. But going back to the bro gimmick, not a fan.
No, not at all. Then Miz and Ali, Dexter got involved.
Yeah.
There you go. But we get the Gargano thing. All right. So there's a 3-way something's going on here. And Dexter is actually just the pawn for us to get Gargano and Miz in a match.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Am I right? I don't know. But then what do you do with Dexter after this? Or is that when Dexter's gone and we find out that he's Rambling Rabbit?
There could be. They write off Dexter at that point and move him to Wyatt's family at that point. I don't know. I have no idea for Dexter, because you're right. This kind of is like a dead end story for Dexter Lumis. However, I guess they could build it right and just have him start stalking somebody else or do his own thing on something else. But it just feels like Dexter's going to be a side character or a laughing stock character after this.
Yeah. And that sucks.
Yeah, that does.
They could build a lot about this. Was it the right time for Damage Control to lose the tag titles?
I'm confused why they lost them 6 days before they were going to defend them again.
Yeah.
Why lose them? I don't get.
Spin into our predictions. And I'm not saying we're going to do predictions. Does it give Damage Control holding all the titles in it Saudi? Do they win them back that fast? Are they 3-time? Wait, no. 2-time. Are they 2-time champions and then Bayley wins? We'll get there.
We'll get there.
But all right, I'm gonna run through what you guys watched last night on SmackDown if you watched it. Liv defeated Sonya Deville in a no DQ match. Where are we going with this? We don't know. Are you watching SmackDown or am I gonna ruin it for you?
Well, no, you're good. Go for it.
I'm not being a dick because there's
I'm going to put on SmackDown, but like I told you, I'm going to be doing other stuff going on, so you're fine.
There's no reason for us to start with SmackDown next week.
Yeah.
Saudi's happening.
Agreed.
So Liv defeats Sonya Deville in a no DQ match. LA Knight defeats Ricochet. Right? This is all great. I'm not telling you the finishes. The Usos cut a promo saying they're the longest reigning tag team champions and they're heading to Crown Jewel. New Day comes out and they're waiting for them. The Brawling Brutes come out. Blah, 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 blah. The Bloodline stands tall. Shayna Baszler's on the show with Ronda Rousey and she defeats Natalya. You can tell they put a lot of money into this fucking show.
I can tell by the tone of your voice.
Braun Strowman defeats 5 people. No Omos, though. And then this sucks. I thought this was going to be on Crown Jewel. Gunther defeats Ray in a banger, that says, for the IC title. So, where does Ray go now? I thought maybe... Not that they were going to say, all right, Gunther's done, but Gunther can move on.
Yeah.
But I like that they kept him as a champion. Ray. On SmackDown now.
That's nothing to do.
His main story is on Raw. Are we just going to get trickle over effect then? Is he going to hear about shit? Like, I thought this was going to break until Mania.
I just feel like there's shenanigans afoot during this match for like Judgment Day, or like Dominic just shows up and Ray gets distracted or some bullshit. I don't know, because to your point, I thought we were going to get a break in all of this, but maybe it's just Ray loses clean and then he's got a couple months where he's just being a legit contender. He's simmering, being a legit contender. New lease on life, and then we get into the whole situation with Judgment Day again in the new year. But I don't know.
All right, I'm ready to write. You have the docket for Crown Jewel, folks. This is what I'm calling a 6-pack eliminator match. Jenks has to win to get another title shot, or he's got to build himself up again.
I'm taking shots here. There's going to be a lot of shots taken. Just saying.
Of Di Serona?
No, I don't have any Di Serona or Amaretto here. But we'll see. All right. You ready?
Yes.
All right. Going top to bottom here.
By stipulation, though. You have to pick first all time.
Got it. WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match. Alexa Bliss, Asuka versus Damage Control. I think Damage Control does win it back tonight. Or tomorrow. Well, I guess that is tonight. Morning, sometime, fucking afternoon. Who knows? But
you might have watched it might be Monday.
You might be watching it 24/7 for the next 3 days, guys. But Damage Control takes the tag titles back.
I agree. And I think it is because of Nikki in this one.
Yep.
I do think Nikki does play a part in getting a title.
I don't know if it's in this one, though.
Well, all right.
Without less spoilers. But next up, the other tag team title match. The undisputed WWE tag team title. Usos, Brawling Brutes. It's the Usos. I can't see the Bloodline even fathoming losing this thing. So
not yet. I agree. As much as I would love the Brutes to get it and see the shenanigans they do to keep it. No, not yet.
Yeah.
So you're not taking many chances so far.
Yeah, not at all. I guess not. But all right, actually,
But you're being real. So
I'm being real. So I'm going to skip around a little bit. Omos Strowman. Strowman? I think Omos is done. Like, as a legit player. I'm going Braun Strowman.
the sad thing is, so you took Braun.
Yeah.
This doesn't end. We're getting a rematch.
Probably. Oh, yeah.
They don't have everything at Survivor Series as a solo match anymore. We might get a Punjabi match. We might get something stupid. Nobody wins this.
No.
Maybe the ring blows up and we have to rebuild a fucking ring match, which I hate those, especially if it's in the middle of the card or something.
Yeah.
Nobody's winning this.
There better be cinder blocks under the one corner of the ring to repair it at that point.
Yeah, this is, and nobody cares, essentially.
Yeah, nobody does. I don't fucking care about this match, to be honest.
If I would pick Braun since he is returning, because Omos is just nobody
gives a crap.
Braun at least had a following, have it just be Nicholas.
Yeah.
But nobody cares about Omos.
Agreed. Completely agreed. All right, let's go to 6-man tag. OC versus Judgment Day. Man, I want to pick OC, but I feel like they're there to lose, so I'm picking Judgment Day. Rhea's going to cost them the match.
Nutshot Rhea.
Unless there's an equalizer, which I don't think they are, not in Saudi, Rhea's going to take advantage of this.
No, because that means you're flying two people over.
Yeah.
You're not flying two people over to be... No.
Extras in a match. Yeah.
No, I agree. Essentially, this is, for the most part, maybe the undercard is very predictable.
It could be. I think it is.
I mean, it sucks that the OC just back together. The OC wins. Where does this go? They're done with them then.
Yeah. I think they're so high strung on building up the Judgment Day that they're not going to let this get past. They're going to continue building them.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to pick which one I want to go next. Let's go Drew versus Karrion in a steel cage match.
This is one I think we're both excited for.
We're both excited for it, yes. Who I'm picking, I want to say Drew, but I think they're going to give it to Karrion. I think they're very hell-bent on building Karrion here. So it's Karrion.
I'm writing down my answers before you say them. I agree it's Cross, because Drew is almost for WWE level, a loss at this caliber pay-per-view doesn't hurt him.
No.
It's in a cage. Something can happen. Scarlett's still going to be there. I don't know if a fireball goes through the cage or
pepper spray or whatever.
Yeah, something. Or it could be clean. It could be clean, and it's still not going to hurt Drew.
No.
Cross takes a loss here. Oh, shit. What do we do with him now?
Mm-hmm. Or does he need to take a loss to join Bray?
Oh.
I don't know either. But let's throw that devil's advocate in there. Does he take a loss and join Bray? I don't know. I don't even know if that storyline's going that way, to be honest.
You brought it up, so go there. What the hell is Bray doing?
Well, that's where I was going to go next after I brought that up, is what is Bray doing? Is he there to get attacked? Is he there to... He's not there to cut a promo. If he's there legitimately to cut only a promo...
What a waste of money.
Exactly. And that's nothing
on
against
everybody's part, the Princes and
WWE. And Bray can cut a fucking promo. We know he can, but guys, why are we only sending him over there to cut a promo? You can tape it and just put it on the big screen and do it that way. I feel like there's going to be an attack on Bray. I don't know if it's by Uncle Howdy, and I don't know if they reveal that it's Bo Dallas at that point. But I feel like there's got to be something physical that happens with Bray Wyatt.
So you think Uncle Howdy's Bray's first opponent?
Is it opponent or is it... I just don't know where this is going. I don't know if it's going to be opponent mind games controlling type thing. You know what I mean? I just don't know. Maybe Howdy attacks, but he controls Bray in some aspects of it. Maybe we're getting a brother versus brother at WrestleMania.
Maybe. But I like how we brought this up after this match, after the Drew and Cross match. I think if there is a Bray involvement, it's with one of these two. I don't think it goes to any other match. I mean, clearly scratch the women, scratch tag team matches. Brock and Bob knew there's already way too much going on in the main event with other people that are going to be there. I think this is where Bray, if he pops up, and we're not throwing predictions out for this. This is just random because this is nobody fucking knows.
Yeah.
This would be the match that he would intervene in. It's the only logical match. Is it to get Cross, or is it to be in his group, or is it to decimate Drew, who Drew's been carrying on the TV screen for 3 years now without taking a break? Maybe Drew gets a break because Bray dismembers him until Royal Rumble / WrestleMania season.
Yeah. Do we see the building of the faction with Braun as well? Does he recruit Braun? I don't think he gets involved in the Omos match, but I think maybe he recruits Braun after that. And then we carry it into this match where they all attack Drew inside of the cage. Maybe that's what happens here.
I'm going to pigeon toe those two together then.
Okay.
I like that, but it no points taken off for anybody.
Right.
But I like that. I like that he's involved in two.
Yeah.
Because two matches, no disrespect, this card is very storyline heavy except for two matches.
That's true.
And it's the Omos and Braun one and the Cross and Drew one. Yes, they have storylines, but everyone else has been going on for months.
They're physical, they're personal. Drew and Cross kind of personal, kind of like we're just jockeying for position. Strowman and Omos says we're two big meaty men and we're fighting. We're trying to be alpha males here.
We're gonna slap meat all over the place.
We're not even gonna say slap meat because they both are not great at slapping. Never mind. We're not gonna go there. Anyways, let's move on. That was going wrong. Let's switch gears. Last woman standing match for the Raw Women's title: Bianca Belair, Bayley. I smell a title change, and I smell Nikki Cross involved in it. Something's up here. Something's got to catapult and catalyst this to War Games, because this is the War Games match. It has to be this. There has to be a title change here. Bayley.
Not just Nikki Cross. I said Nikki Cross will also be involved in the tag team match because these are probably an hour in between. Whatever. Maybe the Damage Control starts, and then later on in the night you get Bayley and Bianca. Nikki makes an impact in Damage Control, taking out one. Have it be Asuka and or Alexa, one of them. So now Bianca only has one person ready to help her. Damage Control is healthy enough to come out. All of Damage Control is in this match, beating the living piss out of Bianca.
Okay.
Either Alexa and or Asuka try to come out and make the save. The one that is healthy, that gets taken out as well. And then chair shot through a table that everybody will be cheering for anyway. Yeah. There's got to be, at some point, Bayley and Damage Control standing tall.
Yeah.
If this storyline is going to make any sense from WrestleMania of this takeover that Bayley has been talking about, it has to be now.
Yep. Agreed.
If not, Damage Control doesn't make it to Survivor Series because nobody gives two fucks.
Oh, exactly. What's the point of the War Games match besides just throwing people through tables and shit?
Right.
There's no point to the match. So it has to happen. Bayley has to get the win.
If we tie, when there's 2 matches left,
Yeah.
if we tie, it's a time limit draw, and I will. Oh no, because we won't tie. There's one separating us so far.
What's the one separating us?
Braun and Omos. Because
You picked Omos?
I picked nobody.
Oh, that is right. You did pick a draw. Okay. All right. So we have one.
That's the only one.
Now,
because the next 2, I would imagine, I don't know. Go
we
ahead.
should be on the same page, but let's see. So final 2, Brock, Bobby. This is the 2 big meaty men slapping meat match. I'm going Brock. I think we even this series up and we're carrying this to WrestleMania.
We kind of said the same thing
Yep.
a bit ago. I think, and I'm going to steal this because I actually heard a clip from Busted Open. I think the final match is in a pit.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
You've brought the pit to the main roster now
Put these 2 in it.
for the final
Oh my God.
at WrestleMania.
Sign fucking tickets, pay money, whatever it is.
Right? But I do think we're both good on Brock.
Yeah.
But I also think that there's an injury, that Brock's not around until Rumble again. There's an injury and Bob's off to get him out of Survivor Series. Because why would you not have Bob in some match? Somebody would say, hey man, I want you for my team. You're a big fucking guy that can destroy people.
Yeah.
Or you can have him fight Ali. I mean, where do you get him then in Survivor Series once he takes this? I don't think you get him anywhere. So there's an injury, air quotes.
Yeah.
And Bob is off until Rumble. And then that scenario plays out that we've talked about. They meet in the Rumble. Somebody screws somebody over. They fight stupidly backstage or whatever, until we get the Mania. And then we get a fucking pit fight.
Yeah. I'll buy it. I'll buy all the tickets. All right. Okay. Main event. Roman, the Bloodline, minus Sammy, versus Logan Paul and his Bloodline, Jake Paul. Who we got? I got to guess first. I've been going back and forth on this. I'm staying with Roman.
I am too.
There's no way Logan Paul's taking this. I don't care what kind of pins he has on his hand. I don't care. Jake Paul took Anderson Silva to the unanimous decision. I like your theory about Theory doing a pseudo cash in again. I think Jake Paul knocks him out before that even occurs.
Agreed.
But Roman's winning this.
Again, I agree with you. I'm doing long-term booking here. You cannot. I really think you. Let me just throw this out you, and
Okay.
we can end however we want to then. At WrestleMania, Roman Rock for the titles. Unbelievable, right? It's for the titles. Who's winning that match?
Roman and Rock?
Yeah.
I got to go Roman.
Roman Rock. No titles involved. For the head of the table. Who's winning that match?
It's a whole other fucking ball game. And it could be The Rock. But do they make it?
It doesn't hurt Roman then.
True. But no,
It does a little bit, but
well, no, what I was going to say
there's
is,
more speculation build up.
well, I think to that point, what I was going to say is if Rock wins that, then you start seeing the crack in the foundation of the bloodline and start seeing people questioning Roman. You're seeing a whole turn of a new leaf with a lot of people of Roman really the head of the table? Is he really really the man? we start cracking, you see Jay and Jimmy and all of them start falling to the wayside. Yeah. So, but I think you're right. If it's for the titles, it's Roman. If it's not, that's a whole other gray area sitting right there. However,
when and how? And I'm not saying I'm going with Logan Paul. I will not. Surprise me, WWE. Surprise me. When are we getting the titles off of Roman? Who can possibly be built up at WrestleMania, or if there's an Elimination Chamber? I don't know. I doubt that's a gimmick pay-per-view. Are they staying with it?
Yeah, they're keeping Chamber. That's definitely happening next month.
Not next month, in February.
Yeah, you know what I meant.
Whatever.
Yeah.
When do we get these titles off of Roman?
Well,
who is build up?
I was looking to see where Rumble was when I was talking about that. All right, that's San Antonio.
So is Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, right. I personally, I think it has been and always has been. We've talked about it. It's Cody. Is Cody Rhodes back by Rumble? I don't think Roman doesn't take the titles into Chamber. I can't imagine he's going to defend the titles in the Elimination Chamber. They protected Roman from a lot of those gimmicks.
Yeah.
A lot of those gimmick fights. So, for me, I think it's Cody Rhodes. It has to be at the Rumble that he loses a title or both titles.
How is Cody? We have lots of time to talk about this, but this is where I want to go. How does Cody win a title coming back that night?
Does he come back that night?
When's he coming back?
If there's a WWE Raw in Atlanta anytime between then, it's a perfect time for him to show up.
Right. I agree. And I'm not.
Well, no, I get that. I'm just trying to say, I'm trying to build up what I think could it be. I'm trying to see if there's tickets available for anything in Atlanta for WWE coming up here. WWE is in Atlanta on December 27th.
That's a Tuesday night.
Is that a Tuesday night?
It's a live event.
It's not a live event. They're not going to do it there.
Are they?
Would you, though?
No possible way. Not off of the story that you've just built for 2.5 fucking years.
Unless there's well, they're not going to, the title's not going to change there. But does he come back? Is there a Raw on the 26th? Do we know?
They've had Raw on Christmases before.
I know they have.
Pre-taped.
What I'm saying is, do they make it a Raw Tuesday or some bullshit like that? I don't know. But, well, that blew my other theory out of the water. So I don't know. I don't know if they do it. They're not going to do it the same night. This is not going to be a surprise like Seth Rollins thing was. I just don't know when they're going to fucking do it.
We both agree that by Mania, these titles need to be off of Roman. If you want a speculation bigger match, because wrestling fans will Rock wins that match at Mania, what the fuck do the titles mean then? And I'm not dissing The Rock. You now have just put a tournament the next day because he has to relinquish them. He's not coming back to wrestling full time. Anybody that has just yelled at me on this podcast listening, he's not coming back to wrestling at part time.
This presents the perfect opportunity to start a clean slate. Rock wins the titles at Mania. 2 different brands get them. The titles can be split apart. You have a draft in a week, and you can build up pay-per-views to name your champions. It's essentially the reset button that they need in WWE, or that we've speculated for the 6 to 12 months out. That's the perfect out.
Cody gets one, Roman gets the other.
But it ends at Mania. Rock wins both titles, vacates both. You can split them up, draft into 2 weeks, everything resets.
It's a theory.
It's a theory.
And then he still has the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Lingering
Definitely
out
after
there.
Mania.
Yep. Yeah. So that's one theory to go with. But
So all your money is on Braun winning. Between me and you, if Braun wins, you get, essentially this is it. If Braun wins, you get a championship match for the six-pack at Full Gear.
this is what happened. Here's what's going to happen. Omos is going to fucking win this somehow. And then I'm screwed. Nobody wins. We're both tied again. It's a 60-minute draw.
Yeah. Yeah, because I blatantly am saying nobody.
Yeah.
So if Omos wins, I'd said if it's a draw, you'll get a title as well.
Okay. Fuck. It's gonna be nothing. I just know this now. Nobody's gonna win this, and you're gonna fucking walk away with it. My luck. My
That's
luck
the
in these
only match that
predictions.
separates us.
Yeah, God. That's my luck with these predictions.
I said it's kind of heavily predictable though.
It is.
It
is.
I'm interested in the Brock match. I don't know about the Logan Roman match, but I want to see what Bray is doing there.
Bray's up to something. Bray is not there just to talk for 5 minutes and then be done with it.
It's a lot of money to go over there just for 5 minutes.
Well,
I would cash in.
We got money to burn.
God, I would cash in. Fly me over. Can I get over there by noon to make my big shindig and get back to Pittsburgh to watch the Pitt and Syracuse game by 3:30? How long is that flight?
Oh, that flight's way too long for that.
You can tape me here in the studio then.
Once we get teleportation, you'll be fine. You can do that, but
Holy Christ. We're long. We love you. Guys, next week, essentially, we'll be back to recap all of this craziness and maybe not predictions on NWA Hard Times, but we'll at least look into it in some matches and everything because I'm possibly getting it. I don't know, but we'll kind of throw some stuff around to see about that. Impact is on the 13th as well. Well, maybe we'll talk about both of them. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll still be drunk on Corona and Di-Seronas. I don't know. But,
we'll see. We'll see where we're at.
Yeah.
Well, we got this.
We got this. We love you. Thank you for joining this ride each and every week. Thank you for joining the Spotlight shows. And don't forget, Pardon the Paranormal is a new one out there. And you still have the 40-year dash that you can. We have you covered each and every week on podcasts.
Yeah, we do. We do. Just check them out. We got a whole plethora, guys. We're throwing out the pallets. We got plethora of things for your pallets.
Maybe a network should start sometime soon.
I've heard about that.
And maybe then this means that the other two co-hosts that you have, Cody and Mooch, should start some type of show.
Maybe they should. Maybe we start talking BS over a 4-pack again. Who knows?
I'm in on that because you need a fourth member.
That's true. We do. It doesn't make any sense if we don't have it.
I did hear that there might be another Moochie-mania coming up as well.
Possibly. It's this weekend, possibly. We'll see what happens. We release Monday, and we have no idea what Moochie has accomplished, if anything. So, if I'm correct, he does know to invite you for Moochie Mania, but I told him we had to know sooner rather than later. So I'm assuming he did something. So,
good luck.
Yeah, right.
Guys, we love you. Thank you for everything. Go out and buy some merch, buy some collar and elbow shirts. Jenks and I are going to be repping probably the WCW ones here real fucking soon because they're awesome.
They're fantastic.
Remember, just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things.
You're a garbage can, not a garbage cannot.